Yo, what it is, folks? What's going on, man? You checking out Pro from the ProQuo show? It's just Pro right now.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
wait a minute. Now it's the Pro One show.
Hey,
What's going on, man?
hey, Pro man. Glad to see you made it back safely, man. And by the way,
Absolutely.
a really impressive poetry read that you was doing up there in New England, man. That was awesome, man.
Oh, peace, man. I'm glad you caught that, man. I forgot
That's
all about that. Yeah. That was dope.
phenomenal, really phenomenal, man. Let me give you the proper introduction there. There you go.
I
Yeah, that was
appreciate
real
that.
pro, man. The real pro.
Some people don't know that, man. Some people don't know I do the spoken word too, and I think it's
Phenomenal.
thanks, man. I think shout out to Miguel and Preacher Rhymes having me represent Lowell there in the Haverhill, actually they were calling it the Merrimack Valley spoken word poetry slam. So it was dope, man. I think they were calling, was it Stomp the Mic? Is that what it was? I think it was called.
Pretty impressive. Pretty incredible too. And
Thanks,
I've
man.
heard some rumors, Pro, and I'm not gonna give it away.
What's
But
that?
I heard some rumors that you got some pretty good work in while you were up there in New England as well.
Yeah, man, it was great. So I was up there for like last Friday. So you want to talk about crazy? Here's the thing, right? For people that don't know Quo and just just tuning in for the first time or whatever. I mean, you might think you know Quo, but like I for a long time I haven't really worked with that many people. A lot of people know my history with my group X Cow and Invasion, and it's tough to find people that are like minded and put in like their lion's share of the work. But this dude, man, wow. I thought like he was trying to keeping up with my pace. For those people who don't know me, like I don't sleep this stuff. Like I'm just go. It's crazy. It's weird. I've always been like that. It's like this really high energy. But I'm at my match, man. This dude. I mean, he might need a little sleep around the edges, like a mere mortal. But let me tell you, when he's not sleeping, he don't waste a minute, yo. It's just shooting video, recording, just like traveling, just writing rhymes. I mean, he banged out a whole video. He was editing behind the scenes with his brother shooting it. It's crazy. We're gonna play some of that tonight too. And this dude just
I can't wait.
Doesn't stop, man. Just the dude just got to grind like no other. So shout out to Quo, and happy birthday to Quo yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Happy born, Quo. We know you out there, man. Happy born. Enjoy that thing.
There it is.
Happy born. There you go.
That's where it is, man. I'm saying, like, he keeps it on the low too. We got to do that right there. Happy birthday, Quo. 420.
Keeps it on the
I
low.
didn't even know. So we did a show last week up in Manchester at Club Jewel, and it was a birthday show for our man Felix. Shout out to Felix and Second to None. We had them up here before. That was
Second to
real dope.
None. Shout out to Second to None.
And like, it's just as much Jay's birthday. He didn't mention a word, because it was like Felix, like, my birthday is really tomorrow. Jay didn't say a peep, man. And then he was like, yesterday, kind of like halfway through the day, he was like, yeah, with it being my birthday and all. I was like, what? I knew you were April, man. It just slipped my mind what day it was, So he was keeping it all on that, like, I don't know, that humble tip. So happy birthday, my man Quo.
Happy birthday to Quo, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're not gonna do it on that new age, just drop the Cash App or anything like that. Hit us up. Nah, we ain't coming like that. We saying, hey, you want to show us love, man, keep the comments coming. We all good. But I speak for me, but Quo's probably like, what are you saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know how we do. But yeah, man, we got a lot done. It was a great trip. We got a video done. Shout out to his it's the whole fam, man. Kath was gonna come up here tonight too.
Oh wow.
Kath is his cousin. Kat's brother is the one who is working on our cover. I mean, crazy talented graphic artist.
The whole family must be a big talent.
Yeah,
Wow.
Jay's brother Josh is crazy, man. Like he shot the video along with Jay doing the editing. He's also the one who does our graphics for all those caricatures you've seen. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lovely
Pretty
thing,
impressive. I must
man.
say, really impressive. I was impressed, and you will too. Saying you will be too.
Yeah, absolutely.
No tease.
Yeah. Your boy right here did a little bit on the graphics on the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Just doing my little thing here on the shirts and then
Look at you.
Yeah, man. We all try to, stay that multi I don't know if it's talented, but multi busy. Let's call it that. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. The Pro fashions.
Yeah, man. So that's it. That's it, people. So we happy to be back, and we getting it done, and yeah, we got an album worth of done stuff. Today's guest, man, we got a guest coming up. Long time friend of mine, my man Shallow is a true. People throw legend around, but like this dude is like the equivalent of what I've been to MCing, in terms of doing something for long term. I mean, this dude's longer. You know what I'm saying? This dude been dancing when I was just and he can tell you some stories of how awful like I was when I say that to people all the time. I was like, nah, I was awful. They're like, yeah, you're funny. Yeah, you were just born that way. Nah, I was freaking terrible, and I was even worse as a dancer, as Shallow could tell you. And but I don't want to go too into those stories. But my man is a true popping legend, Bboy, Shallow.
We see you, Shallow, in the green room.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man Tron too.
He's smiling at y'all.
Way back, man. And so it's good when people are doing their things and everybody's trying to get healthy, and you know what I mean, trying to stay healthy and trying to live this lifestyle, man. So that's what it's all about.
You know what, Pro? Speaking of trying to stay healthy, I went out and had my second shot. Okay.
Oh yeah, likewise.
And how did you feel after your second shot?
Truth be told, I had my second shot the day I drove up to Massachusetts.
So how'd you feel?
I didn't feel a thing.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't feel a thing on the first one. I didn't feel a thing on the second one. And I drove. Yo, check this out. I don't mean to steal your thunder on this, but I gotta throw this out there. I might have the record. I need someone to verify this. I might have the record for most miles driven immediately after both shots. So here's the first situation. When I got the first shot, I had to do, I wasn't talking about it publicly at the time, you know what I'm saying? But when I got the first shot, I had to drive 144 miles to get it because you couldn't get it anywhere. And so I knew that if I didn't get that first one, I wasn't going to be able to get that second one. And I wanted to get that second one in before I went to Boston. It just so happened that I had to go 144 miles from basically D.C. all the way down to almost the border of North Carolina, right? Immediately upon getting the shot, I turned around and drove back, right? So that was that 144 miles. Then the same morning, I'm going up to Boston. I got it at 10:15, and I immediately drove all the way to Boston. So that's like 444 miles plus 144. Luckily, didn't feel a thing either day. Yeah, so I put in, like almost 600 miles of driving immediately after both shots. People like, that's probably not a good idea. Probably not, but it worked out.
It wouldn't work for me, Pro, because I tell you, I took the second shot and I looked at the side effects from headaches to sore joints, and I felt like I had the flu. I felt like they injected me with the flu. I was out for a whole day.
Yo, shout out to Rhonda. Rhonda, it's that Dave Shallow. So it's that same shot. She's saying in the comments over there, she's like, I remember David Shallow from back in the day in Cambridge. Yes, I do too. It's that David Shallow. But shout out to Rhonda. Nah, I mean, it definitely affects.
Yeah, no doubt.
It definitely affects people differently. Jay had his, and he was a mess the day after as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm really into, I'm like, I know it's a controversial topic no matter, what you're talking about. And like the numbers are going to bear out that there's going to be a lot of people who have side effects, even though there's a relative few amount of people who do have any kind of serious side effect. It's very, very low. And it's one of those things where, but that second shot for a lot of people on that Moderna, there's a lot more people in the second time around who had.
Well, I was on the Pfizer, so you know what I'm saying, and the second Pfizer shot had me out. You know what I'm saying? I was out for the count.
Man, that's
not recovering.
You look good now, man. It doesn't look like it set you back too long, right?
Well, you know what I'm saying, I'm still sweating under the cap, so that's why I got the cap on to hold the preparation back.
Yeah. There's a little tiny bit, we don't talk about this too much, but there's a little bit of placebo effect kind of in the negative too that goes on with this too, because I'm not saying that's your case, but I think it was mine the first time, because when I got the first shot, I was so, and by the way, that day I went and played football and basketball all day, 24 hours after, which is when you're not supposed to be doing. The next day I played basketball and football in the same day for the first time. It was like 80 degrees, right? All day long. People are like, I'm not sure if that's a great idea. But trying to get this fat down, so I was like, I gotta do, right? So it's one of those things where in my head I was like, do I feel anything? And I felt like maybe halfway through the day I was tricking myself that maybe I felt like a slight headache, and I was like, well, I didn't drink any water enough, and I was running all day in the hot sun. That might have had something to do with it, but it was like I didn't feel anything, But I was tricking myself into, and there's a lot of the times you see where people get, sometimes it's real serious, and I feel bad for people like yourself or whatever that got laid out, even Quo the second day. But I talked to some people and they're like, I had this headache, or I kind of felt sweats and chills, and I'm like,
yeah, I felt the sweats. I rarely get sick. That's the thing that bothered me. I really get headaches.
I mean, it's almost a good thing because it's like it means it's working. Your body is supposed to do the same defense that it would do if it did have a sickness, even though it's not. Your body's
I
putting
went
up
to
the
sleep, rest.
yeah, man. That's what you got to do, you know. So you kind of like in a way that's like it's working. You know what I'm saying? So it's a small price to pay in the big picture, I think. But it's unfortunate that people do have to go through that. I mean, some people worse than others. Obviously, we know what's up with that Johnson & Johnson, man. That's a whole different.
Oh yeah.
You know, and that was again, you know,
Yeah,
six people out of 7 million. It's like, you know.
Right. I keep telling myself, hey, at least this is supposed to be at least 10% of what the actual thing is about. So I'll take 10% over the 100.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. It's like knowing people that are younger, that have gotten it, man. It's crazy. It's like, you know, you hear like about, you know, older people or whatever, but it's not everybody either. So it's like depends who you know, depends what your situation is. A lot of people I see what Ron is saying knocked out after that second Pfizer shot. Yeah, the headache and the sleep all day. I mean, that's
me too.
I mean, you sign up for that. You know, I was kind of expecting that too. You know, you sign up for that, and if you get off lucky, it's like, oh well. But it's like, unfortunately, it is a little bit of you know, inconvenience. But it's like you know you see. I mean, we were talking a little bit about Jason Tatum on the Celtics, right? It's like dude is still on a ventilator. You know what I'm saying? Like he's scoring like 50 points a game. You know what I mean? This dude's on a ventilator, and he's like on the low. He's like, yeah, it's been kind of like crazy, and you don't hear these stories that much because. You know, I don't think the NBA wants to broadcast how sick all of its players feel, but there's a group of the best athletes in the world, and you talk to some of them, and they're like, yo, like, it's like no joke when you get them one-on-one. Sometimes you talk to them about what they had to go through with it, you know? So, yeah, and on the other tip, shout out to my son and my wife. They're doing black belt testing. They're both going to get their black belt, it looks like, on the same day. So they went back to Taekwondo.
You know what that means, pro?
I know what that means.
Better take out the trash, or else
absolutely it. Absolutely. I said to my son this morning. I said, so if bad guys came to the door, would you want me to answer it, mommy to answer it, or you to answer it? I'm thinking he's gonna say him, and he goes, maybe you or mommy. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I got at least. I guess I still can go to the door. You know, I still got that. The Louisville's right there at the door. You know, just you know, on the surprise tip. But now my son is like. You know? Yeah. So we practice when we do all the like form stuff with him or whatever, and he's getting like harder and harder with it. I'm like, yeah, this kid's. I mean, granted, he just turned 8. He's gonna be doing black belt test. It's like a black belt at 8's a little bit different than, you know, somebody in their 40s. Like, you know what I'm saying, going to get.
But he's dangerous for 8-year-olds though. All the other 8-year-olds ain't gonna mess with him.
Absolutely not. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you gotta temper him down. You know, it's like, come on now. So he's been training his entire life to be a superhero. That's kind of the whole thing with him. That's how we. You know what I'm saying?
8-year-old black belt, he's a superhero.
That's it. But nah, it's deeper. It's like I've been taking him, like I said, since speaking of Cambridge, the Museum of Science since he was born. He's done math, coding, science, chess. Like he's straight nerd. He's a straight nerd. He doesn't have a choice, you know. And
I was gonna say, yeah, when dad's a professor of math,
right? So he's raised around that, right? And he but on the other side, it's like one of the ways. It's a great way to promote it to your kids too. I'll be like, ever since he was little, and since I'm obviously somewhat of a superhero, a comic book fan, but since he's had that all around him too. Every time he says something to me, and I'll be like, ooh, that's kind of like having the Force, you know, or we'll talk about gravity or something, and I'll be like, ooh, that's kind of like the Force right there. And, you know, he'll be like really into it, and I'll be like, well, you kind of want to have the Taekwondo. Did you ever notice all superheroes have to have that Taekwondo? You know? So it's kind of subtly got him in the direction. He's like, would this be like superhero skill? Oh, yeah, knowing how to, like, you know, balance an equation. You know, did you ever notice Tony Stark's is brilliant? He's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. He's like, when did Tony Stark get his PhD? Because he has like 3 of them, right? He went to MIT. That was next to us in Cambridge. So he's in superhero
all the
training,
schools are
man.
Great in Cambridge, by the way. All the schools are great.
Yo, honestly, honestly, being in education, right? His school is amazing. He's in like, I mean, I don't want to say the hood. I mean, where we live in a nice little area, but we live on the border of like, you know, it's a lot like a Cambridge and Lowell. It's got a nice section. It's got a, you know, it's got its whatever. And,
I'm very familiar with that area.
And so like the ratings for his school coming in, it was like, yo, this is the hood. You don't want to go there, blah, blah. We're like, no, we want him to be in a diverse school. We don't want him, you know, being in some like super soft kind of like thing or whatever. And he's like, it's amazing. They got a wonderful principal, wonderful superintendent. Teachers are all great. He's in the Spanish dual enrollment program since day one. He luckily tested into talented and gifted, which was great for him. He loves it. He likes that, you know, anything that's like, oh, that's superhero stuff, you know. So all that kind of stuff has worked out good. And you know, you got to get involved, and it's tough. Not everybody has the time to be involved, but you know, if you got a family member or something that knows about education or whatever, kind of knows some of the deal, you got to advocate for your kids, but at the same time, you got to let them be kids and go through it, and you know, not be the one trying to do all their homework all the time. And I sit at the table with dude too, and I'm, you know, it's like while he's doing the schoolwork, and it's like, you know, I'm start doing my hip hop stuff, and I'm doing school stuff, and he's sitting right there, and I'm tempted, you know, every time they're like, you know, they're doing a pattern or something, and I'm like, I want to go, that's the Fibonacci sequence, but you know, I'm sitting like, he's like, daddy, do not tell me. I'm like, yo, man, I'm just trying to nudge you over in the right direction or something, you know. So it's fun.
Yeah.
I'm trying to read these comments here, but yeah, Rhonda, don't be fooled about Cambridge.
Yeah,
right?
I was saying, yeah. Well, yeah. Was there? There's a joke about Cambridge. I thought that you couldn't go wrong with education in Boston in general.
Well, you know, we got Mr. Shallow in here to talk a little bit about that. Rhonda, you know, myself having some experience with the public school systems there as well. You know, some people don't know I lived there for over a decade, but didn't go. You know, it was after I was out of the school system, of course, but just you know, having family and stuff in the school system and you know, doing a lot with the schools and stuff. Yeah, it's all where you live. It's all the neighborhood. Just like all public education, it's a function of property taxes and where you live. And you know, Cambridge has, you know, it's like the hood and the most beautiful neighborhoods you can imagine touching up against each other all over the place. You know, so it's crazy. You know, it's crazy, but it's got its pluses and its minuses. Yo, I saw Gary's comment here. Anybody out there check out the new Diamond D and Talib Kweli album?
Look, they are always solid. First of all, I haven't heard it as of yet, but of course, when we get set up here for the Friday Night Live show, I hope to catch a sneak peek at it.
Yeah, I haven't heard it either.
But
I feel like I'm not doing my homework, man. I got to check that out, Gary.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but come on. Talib Kweli, yo, he's always solid.
Without a doubt.
Shoot, come on. I know it's going to be fire.
I mean, a lot of people, you know, almost forgot, like, for a while. Like, who was that other dude in the group? You know,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
because
right.
Talib remained while most was going through it, you know. But it's like anytime you can have a most deaf in your group and people put you on basically equal footing, that's crazy, you know.
No doubt.
We gotta get into one of those conversations, like the greatest. You know, we stay clear of some of that talk or whatever, but we never get into the, you know, get into these top tens and all these, like, who are the MCs, blah blah blah, like, that made you whatever. I was checking out Big Daddy Kane, obviously one of my favorites, and he was, you know, on there with doing the Breakfast Club thing and all that stuff, and just watching these interviews he was doing, and I just liked what he was saying about people's top 10. He's like, yeah, they're like, how do you feel? Charlamagne's like, yo, how do you feel? You know, people put you in the top 5 or whatever, and when they don't, and dude's like, yo, it's a function of, you know, when you come up. He's like, I can't say anything about that. You know, it's like someone doesn't put me in that top 5 or top 10 or whatever. He's
right,
like,
right, yeah.
He's like, of course. He's like, my goal was to be the greatest MC ever, still is, and he's like, not to be the greatest artist, which it is now definitely about, right? It's like being that complete artist. He's like, we just want to kill the mic, you know, and do whatever we could. But at the same time, it's always interesting because to me, I think about Mos Def, how amazing Mos Def is. But I don't mistake him as like the number one MC or anything like that. You know, he's like certainly in at least I think most people's like top 20 or something for MCs, for people that are really, really about the lyricism. And it's like you never want to invalidate anybody's opinion because we all get equal opinions. But as someone who does on the mic, like with a lyrical kind of thing, it's like, yo, for me, for my money, like one of my favorite MCs, my favorite MC of all time is Big Daddy Kane. But in terms of like ability level, there's no human in the world better than Pharoah Monch. You know, Pharoah Monch is on a whole different wavelength that you don't understand. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I hate to be biased here, Pro, and you know,
but we gotta be. That's what we do, man. We have to be.
I'm a roll with Rakim. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the Griffin family, man. I know they're fans of the show. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. So I'm rolling with Rakim.
How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong, right?
And by the way, Rakim has a live show coming up soon.
Where's that? Where's that?
It's going to be online. It's going to be online.
Oh,
I think that's, you know, saying that's the new thing, Pro.
Yeah,
you know,
man, absolutely.
More online events, and
absolutely.
I think Rakim's taking advantage of that pretty early here. I think in the next couple of
and
weeks.
That's good to see because he's the kind of dude who just like, you know, you won't see him do a show for 6 years. You know what I'm saying? And then when he does, he'll do a bunch of them at the same time. But my knock to Rakim is not really a knock. It's just always been like, I don't understand where he's not, you know, like pushed for more volume. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Like I do get have like I'll do a song I did 20 years ago, like I made it yesterday, you know, and love it. I'll be like, yo, I love this track, I'm doing it. Or I'll do, you know, a song I made 10 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever. And maybe I'm making like a new song every day, but I don't put them out all the time like that. And people will be like, yo, yeah, I want to hear the new stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but let me make sure you hear this track. So I get that. But it's like with Rakim, yo, it's kind of like, it's amazing for over his length of time that he has as few albums as he does. You know, when you really think about it, it's really not a lot of, it's just like classic, incredible, world level, some of the stuff changed my life kind of stuff. But it's just like, dude, like I wish there was like 4 more Rakim albums at least. You know what I mean? So just that's the fan of me speaking. But
I'm a fan of the artist Rakim, and also the DJ Rakim.
DJ, right on the same thing with Kane, right? DJ coming up. You know what I'm saying? DJ's coming up or whatever. But yeah, man, it's all that stuff's all opinion. But it's like
of course.
For me, like just on the verbal, like I'll listen to a verse that Pharaoh does, and it sounds like literally impossible to do. Like the level of difficulty is like a 12. You know what I'm saying, out of 10, and it'd be like how did you possibly come up with that? But the knock on him is it takes him like a month to write a verse. You know what I'm saying? Like I read a verse in 5 minutes, you know, and then work on it at night, and I'll be like, yo, I'm gonna say this tomorrow, and now it's at the point where I can say it right now, and it sounds like I wrote it yesterday. Whereas I really would love to hear the Rakim and the Pharaoh. I think Rakim's more in that lane too, where he just writes it. He was talking about he doesn't like to be rushed on the show. Peace to Afeni, by the way. Who I did a couple shows for, one when she was out in Denver and another when she was at Connecticut. So shout out to Afeni. But she had him on there, and he was like, yo, my process, I don't want to be super rushed. She's like, I can do it, but nah, not Pharaoh. Pharaoh's going to take a month on that first. You get back to him a month from now, but his stuff is like Picasso's, and, you know, it's like, I understand. It's like, whew, ridiculous. That dude, I say this to MCs. I'm going to leave this alone. I'm going to say this right now, put that out there. That dude said verses in 1994 that, like, when he did Extinction Agenda, go back and check that out. If you're an MC right now, you're a fan, go check Extinction Agenda, you know, from Organized Confusion. And the verse that he says on Extinction Agenda might be the greatest verse a human has ever uttered. You know what I'm saying? Like, in context that it was 94, when you listen to that, dude is talking about priest scandals and politicians, and he's talking about the chessboard, and he's going, rook takes king, king takes, you know, the original King James version. Just ridiculous. And it was like Prince Poe, the other dude in his group, was a nasty MC, right? And this poor dude is like, would have been like one of the top 5 MCs in that era if it wasn't for Pharaoh being in the same group. And that's what made me think the whole Mos Def thing. It's like with Talib Kweli. Imagine Talib Shine if it wouldn't have been Mos Def in the same group with him. Yo, it's like, dude gets his props now, though. But you know
Absolutely.
Yeah. Del, the funky Homo sapien, Gary. Yeah, man.
Definitely underrated.
Yep. Definitely a trailblazer, too. Absolutely. Speaking of trailblazers, man, I don't think I can wait much longer. I'm gonna have to get my man Shallow up in here in a minute, yo. So I'm just warning y'all. Just gonna have to bring him in. You know, Quo might be checking in around 10. I want y'all to say happy birthday. This is the Happy Birthday Quo show that we're doing right now.
Happy birthday, Quo.
Yeah, and you know what I think I want to do before Shallow comes up? I want to run this song. This is a song where I shout out Shallow. So it's a ProQuo song. It's on the album. The last finishing touches to our album is being made. You know, shout out to Slipwax doing some scratches for us on a few of these tracks. And so, you know, again, these are like 95% done. We're trying to have the whole thing 100% done May 15th. That's our sort of self-imposed deadline so we can get this stuff out on time. But this track that we're going to run, you're going to hear just a shout out in there. So Rhonda, yes, this is that dude coming up. So this track is called New Bap. We're gonna bring that in and see if y'all can catch the shout out, and then we'll bring in Dave. In fact, Shallow, I might slide you in like midway through there so people gonna see you come up in there, but we got to hear you talk about it and start it out right. So let's do that. Let's run that New Bap joint. 95% done, and then we'll bring in my man Shallow. And thank you, Don Juan, for hanging out with me, man. I appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure to hang out with Pro and or Quo. You know what? Go see both Pro and Quo. Go visit the www.professorlyrical.com as well.
Yeah, also being redone as we speak. All right, but let's do that. Well, you can get your ProQuo shirt and your ProQuo hoodies. All right, so let's do it. We got right there, New Bap, track number 8. Let's do it.
It's new bad, chapter 2.
This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap.
Whenever I throw down the pronoun, these days it's pronoun. My ascension from these lows well known. That's my hometown. Born as Peter Michael Claw before the teacher was more of a blue-collar worker. For that paper, boy, I'd sweep the floor. Was seeking more, started teaching on my first tour. Word to something different, somewhat shallow, but I Lord Claude. See what you're missing? Something different than them dancers' names. Shout out to Cheeky Tron the Shadow, that's my homie Dave. We played New England school, sure we had a single cool, but never knew what we rarely have is the air of the youth. Was wearing the truth on my sleeve like some fashion statement. My style was boom backpack, new jack, aspirations, motivational speaker. I'm thinking teacher now. Finished college, rockin' Smith College. I'm with the teacher now. Let's take a rest, that blueprint for that boom bap. Now I'm that professor they call pro on that new bap.
This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. Yeah, this is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. New bad. This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. New bad. This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from
Let's zone out real quick, look.
rap.
We collaborate across the nation. Wrote some lyrics, let them marinate. They say it's fornication. Their heart defeats a lot that might just lead to domination. I left the greed by the parking lot. I'm on this train racing. Got some beats that took me over. Now it's migration. The title's new back, cause the trap lanes all taken. I've been patient, got the features and I'm still chasing. Messing like mines, create a brotherhood. Now we all adjacent. The war paths in the past. Got my daughter in the bath. I work harder, nothing's trash. I want college as an option, as math, all basics. Don't wanna switch faces, it's 100, all me. Never wanna trade places. If it's first or it's last, I'll always cuff these vibrations.
New bad. Yeah, this is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap.
New bad.
This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. New bad. This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. Yeah, this is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. New bad. This is that new bad music. A couple dudes from Massachusetts who rap. New bad.
Yeah, I am. What's your tiger doing? Tiger's beautiful.
This is that new bad music. Larcy Vegas, Mitchell Drakes.
When they was
We gotta stop that. Yeah, man. I see you, Shallow. What's good,
What's
bro?
up? What's up, Pete? How you doing, bro?
How have you been, man?
Chilling, man. You know, just keeping busy, like always. You know,
Yes, sir, man. You heard the little.
especially
What's that?
especially during this Corona time. You know.
Dog. It's been crazy. Have you been impacted personally by it? People in family, friends, or whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I had two of my friends that got it,
Word.
and
No joke.
my boy Roy that I grew up with from Cambridge, he was down and out. I was supposed to spend Christmas with him at his sister's, and I said, "How many people are going to be there?" He said, 10 people. I said, "I can't go, man. It's
Yeah,
just
dog. Yeah,
I can't risk it, you know."
Nah.
And then come to find out, I didn't hear from him for a couple of weeks. He told me he had it, he got it,
Wow.
and
That's crazy.
I was like, "Thank God I didn't go," you know.
Absolutely, yo. Absolutely.
But he's doing a lot better, thank God, you know.
For real. Yeah, man. So many people, you see people starting to recover. Yo, it's funny, man. Like the gym out here, I don't know about you, but the gym where I'm at is open. People play ball like it's nothing. In fact, it's almost a peer pressure thing. You go in the gym, you have to wear a mask. That's the rule, right? But the rule is you have to enter the gym with the mask. Once you win, you can take it off. And if they feel you're too like all over the place, they can say something to you. But there's a basketball court in there. in a basketball court, if you even have the mask on in the basketball court, people kind of look at you funny. You know what I'm saying? For a while, it was like people wearing
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, y'all think it's a joke. I guess everybody's vaccinated and I don't know it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm like I said, I got my 2, whatever, but you don't know. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea. And people, like 15 people in there running up on each other, and I'm like, yo, it's kind of a little.
Oh, I heard you a Cambridge boy now.
Man, I have no identity, man. I got no identity. I went to high school in Chelmsford. I was born in Lowell, moved back to Lowell, moved to Cambridge, go to Somerville. Now I'm in Alexandria, Virginia. Dave, where am I from, man? I got no home.
Oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying?
Universal.
Absolutely, world traveler, man. But hey, you know what I claim. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it 100 right there. You know what I claim, right?
Of course.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man Quo. His dad got me that hat. We're out at his crib. Lowell, I am Mill City, man, and he was like, "Yo, I thought of you. I got this house." Like, "Yo, good looks, man." So shout out to
happy birthday to him too, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to
my birthday's in April too. I was April 23rd.
Dog, we should have had you on then. You know what I'm saying? Should have had you on that. That was a week ago, man. The birthday show. Yeah, I know it's tough scheduling, right? But
right,
it's crazy, man. Yo, speaking of birthdays and speaking of we all going back. First of all, you heard the shout out there. I know you heard the shout out on that track, right? And it's funny, like in that when I shout out to Toronto, you know what I'm saying? Like I was writing that song, and I was talking to Quo, and I was talking to some other people, and we were like, "Yo, what was it like?" You know what I'm saying? Like coming up at that particular time or whatever. And you go back even longer than I do. in terms of you've been on the scene for a minute
since '78.
Dog, that's just insane, yo. I said something on the show the other day. Actually, when I was doing the spoken word thing, I got a chance to, the thing Don Juan was talking about, I got a chance to win a poetry slam, like a virtual thing or whatever, and just do a poetry slam. I was fortunate enough that went that way. But they were like, "Yo, tell us about your background and all that stuff." And I threw it out kind of by accident, and I was like, I think I have the distinction of being the first person ever on wax. Me and my man Fee, ex-Cal, we did wax in '89. Most people don't know that. They'll cite people who've been on wax. We were waxing
from the
89.
sticks.
Yeah, before, like, we did a cassette. Remember the Hicks from the Sticks thing, right?
Right.
They would start saying that to us. They'd be like, "Where y'all from?" We're like, "Did you ever hear Lowell?" They're like, "No." "Did you ever hear Chelmsford?" "No." And we were like, "Yo, we got to capitalize on that." We started coming through these stations, and we'd be like, "Yo, yeah, all right, yeah." They'd be like, "From the suburbs of Boston or whatever." We'd be like, "Yeah, we like Hicks from the Sticks or something." But before that, when we did shout out to my man Louis Medina from Lowell holding it down, just from JUL. You know what I'm saying? And like we get up there, and that I was thinking about in retrospect, I was like, yo, that's mad history. Like Lowell, there was no one with wax before. Right after that, people started coming out. But then I'm thinking, you say '78, dog, and it's like,
yeah,
who was? I mean, I know Bboy goes back, longer than MCing, but it's like, who was dancing in '78 in Massachusetts?
Well,
Floor
Lords back then.
Well, yeah,
Floor Lords.
Man. For real.
I'm first chapter Floor Lords. Lino Delgado, Lena Linsky brought me into the crew in the early '80s. And but the original Floor Lords is like Lino, Cisco, Megatron, Andre, Mike Mad, Tori, Six Pack. These guys were around for a long time. These were like the original B-boys that started it all back in the day. And
it was funny.
And it's funny because.
No,
go ahead. I mean, the way we all met was, we used to dance on the street making money down Faneuil Hall. Mm-hmm. Like we would just we used to call it rocking the brim. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We'd go out there, we'd dance, and we would make like a couple $100 a day. We would hit the store, buy Puma suits, Pumas, Adidas, whatever, and then we'd hit the club that night. I mean, we were all under 21 back then. They didn't have a lot of. This was like when Dance Factory spin-offs on Lansdowne is Jillian's now. It used to be a roller skating ring back then, a hip hop night.
It's crazy.
Yeah, now it's a pool hall. It's like it's so different now.
Absolutely.
And this is when we used to travel to like down Quincy and Weymouth. We used to hit clubs down on the South Shore, like where kids from the Bean never went. You know what I mean? We were we used to travel everywhere just to meet new people.
Absolutely.
And that's how our name grew, you know what I'm saying? And they were like the best dancers from around Boston, and that's how we formed Floor Lords.
That's nuts, dog. When is the first time you remember that you entered the cypher and that you were nice? Like, when did you know that you were like on like Floor Lord level kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like that like I'm the man kind of thing.
Well, I got a funny story how I met Megatron the first time, and I didn't even know it was him. I was at Hollywood Talent Night with Andre
Right.
Hunter, who was one of the original Floor Lords back in the day,
And where was
and we
this
went
at?
to Holly. This was in Boston at Narcissus
Narcissus. Yeah,
Club
there we go. Yeah,
Narcissus,
yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
and this is where New Edition got their. They won their first contract.
Right.
You know what I mean? And they didn't even win. I heard they came in like third, but Maurice liked them so much
Right.
he gave them a contract, and that's when they came out with Candy Girl and all that.
Mm.
But in Sisters upstairs, they used to have dance floors and stuff like that. So
Yep.
I was with Andre, and he says, "Yo, I'll be right back," before the party started, because we were there to see TMC, Top Master Crew from Rhode Island. They were like one of the first like known b-boy crews around that were like really doing it, you know.
Right. Right. Right.
And so they
what
entered
year
the
would you
con.
say? What year would you say this was?
Ooh, this was like early '80s.
Yeah,
This was like early
83-ish
'80s.
or
I would
something.
say probably about. I mean, when did Candy Girl come out? That was a long time ago,
82,
man.
maybe. Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, so it was around then when they were doing talent shows and stuff. So, anyways, there was battles going on upstairs, right?
Right.
Now, mind you, I was probably the only white dude in this place, man. You know what I mean? So when Andre left me, I was like, "Hurry up back," you know what I mean? Because
It was
you know,
different time.
yeah, exactly. But if you were with somebody that knew a lot of people that was from that area, like you were cool, you know what I mean? Because you were with somebody that knew a lot of people, and same thing when my friends came to Cambridge, you know what I mean? Like when Megatron first came to Cambridge, he was from Boston.
Yeah.
So a lot of dudes from Boston couldn't come to Cambridge.
It was that big
because they had like that rival going on back then.
Yeah.
But so he came down there and I introduced him to everybody. But at the time, I didn't know Megatron yet. So, anyways, I'm sitting there watching the battle. I'm on the outside of the battle. Next thing I know, the whole circle is around me, and I'm in the front of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So now I'm in the front, and this dude's calling me out in the circle. Now.
And that's Tron calling you out?
No.
Oh.
There was just some dude that I didn't know. So.
Okay.
But I didn't want to battle the dude because I'm like, and I knew I would roast this kid, you know what I mean? And it was just like, I didn't want to
known
get
a non-confident shallow. That doesn't exist in my brain.
But I didn't want to get jumped, you know what I mean? Because back then there was a lot of times if you embarrass somebody when they're around all your friends, especially if you were in Boston.
Right, absolutely.
I believe me, I got chased out of Manda neighborhoods for embarrassing people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So I didn't want to battle the kid. Then this big guy's like, "Yo, don't worry, man. I got your back." He was like the biggest guy in the circle, and it was Tron. I didn't know it was him, though. So he's like, "Don't worry, I got your back, man." But he was really throwing me to the lions. He wanted to see me get roasted. Right, you know what I mean? So I was like,
got a little ulterior plan.
Yeah. So I was like, so I'm saying to myself, well, I know I can roast this kid. And if this is the biggest guy in it, and if he got my back, this kid's in trouble, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I went in and I embarrassed this kid. Like I went in on him and like the whole crowd was like, "Oh, hey boy," with all that, Yeah. And then Megatron was like, "Oh shit," you know what I mean? Excuse my French. Yeah. I don't know if you could swear on here, but
hey man, it's all good.
Yeah. All right, so he was like, "Oh shit," like he was surprised, you know what I mean? So then he asked me, "What's your name?" And I said, "David." This is before they even called me Shallow.
No tags, yeah.
Right. So I was like, and I didn't ask him his name. Then Andre come back. He was like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I said, "Yo, they're over here battling." He's like, "Yo, the show's about to start. Let's go." And I ran out the circle. Never saw Tron again for like maybe 2 years later.
What?
Until we got in.
I don't remember that story. All right.
Yeah. So there was this kid that he used to come to Harvard Square and dance for money. He was from Dorchester, from Tron's hometown. Mm-hmm. His name was Super Steve. He was a nasty pop. He was real dope. He used to wear he was one of the first guys to wear like the rain hats, the bucket hats and stuff. And he used to have the matching like jerseys and stuff. And he used to go down there dolo and like make a lot of money. You know what I mean? So the first day we met, like me and him went move for like 45 minutes, but it wasn't really a battle. It was just like, saying, "Oh yeah, just appreciation,"
Yeah.
And it was a skill thing, and so then we ended up introducing each other and then talking. And then he used to talk like this: "Yo, Shallow, man, you got to see this big fat dude named Megatron, man. He does this, and this, and this. He's dope, man." He used to talk like John Wayne almost. Like it was kind of funny. Right. And then he used to go back and tell Tron the same thing about me. Tron told me this years later. He was like, he used to come to me every day, man. He'd come to Dorchester and be like, yo, you got to see this white boy named Shallow, man. He does this, and this. So this went on for like almost a year and a half. Like he come back and forth talking about us to each other. So then finally, this is when the Four Lords forms. Like we all said we were going to meet down Faneuil Hall and ask for money. You know what I mean? So I come around the corner and there's Tron. And he goes, yo, I know you. And I said, I know you too. And he goes, but you never said your name was Shallow. I said, no, that's my last name. David's my first name. And I told you my first name. He was like, oh, shoot. And I said, I didn't know you were Tron. He said, yeah, you never asked me my name. And then, so we started getting down, dancing. Me and him started going back and forth for like 45 minutes, impressing each other, like trying to like impress each other. You know what I mean? Because we heard so much about each other. It's kind of like if you met, like, you heard about a really dope lyricist and like you guys meet for the first time and you guys are freestyling, you want to kind of like impress each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You might not be going at each other's throats, but you want to be nice.
Yeah, you want to say, yo, at the end of the day, you want him to say, yo, he's dope. You know what I mean?
Right, for real.
So this is what happened with me and him. We hit it off so good. And we exchanged numbers and we were best. We hung every day after that.
Dog, I mean, by the time I met y'all, and I want to say, what do you think that was? Like 91, maybe 90?
Dude, that was probably 15 years after this all happened.
That's the thing for me. So what I remember when I met y'all, and I met y'all doing the something different thing.
Right.
Shout out something different dance. Shout out to Jeremy. Shout out to I remember when y'all broke down like who Andre was and all this stuff, and like you would tell me like, yo, you gotta, there's this dude Flo. I mean, you guys would tell me the whole history, but when we met y'all, and by the way, Fee says, what's up, man? I was talking to him.
Oh, tell Fee I said, what's up, man?
So, yeah, absolutely. He was going to come co-host tonight for me because my man wasn't here. My man Quo was
that would have been dope.
But yeah, man, but he got stuff going on too. And by the way, my man Fly just jumped in the back. I'm going to have him, speaking of co-host, going to have him jump up. He's a regular with us, part of the fam.
All right, cool.
Shout out to LD. Yeah, but what I wanted to say was, when we met y'all, I mean, that had to have been like, I'm saying it was like 90, right? Something like that. Like definitely early 90s, right?
It was mid 90s.
Maybe, I was thinking maybe it was as late as 93. I was thinking. Cause
probably,
I did the World Supremacy Battle in 93. And I don't know if it was
and I remember you told us about that.
So it was probably then just after that, right? And
yeah.
So, and I don't remember exactly who I met first, but I think I met y'all at the same time, you know? But
we were at that Low show, remember? It was that hip-hop show. Y'all performed and we performed.
But I think
But Tron said it might have been before that, too,
I think that was 91. I think that was 91 when we met y'all. We started really hanging more like 93, right? Because y'all met us in that. And that's why I think it was like 91. But in any event, when we met y'all, we knew who, we had heard of Floor Lords, right? But we didn't realize that was y'all. You know, it was like, it wasn't for a while, went by, and then we were like, oh, those dudes are like Floor Lord. That's who they are. You know what I mean? And
original. So, all of us were originals.
Right. Because we didn't have like social media to look you up. You know what I'm saying? It was just whatever people told you or if you were there. And
word of mouth, right?
Yeah. And that was a few years removed from when you all doing that stuff. And that's, when you think about how far removed that already was, that's longer than most people's career right there. And you know what I'm saying? And you guys went on dancing, you know, forever after that. It's not like y'all ever really stopped. You know
it's funny because like we were with Flow Lords for like a couple decades, and then what happened was we had like a kind of like small argument amongst the breakers and poppers. Yes. What happened was at the time the break our egos all got in
y'all
the way.
Are always like this. Behind the scenes it's like boom boom boom, and it's like, all right, hey man, listen, we're all good today, and then the next boom, boom, boom.
So what happened was you know, we were having a discussion about who did more work on stage, like the breakers or the poppers. Now the poppers all did all the routines, most of the routines, and the breakers, you know, their solos were always dope. Solo. You know what I mean?
They kill it on the
solo. It got personal, so we ended up breaking up. Then all the poppers left. Me, Andre, and Tron left, and we formed something different. And then we started doing. So what's up, Fee?
He says something different killed it at that Lawrence show. One of the best performances I've ever seen.
We opened up for Leaders of the New School.
I remember that. I knew that's what he was talking about. Yeah, man. That was like for us.
I still got those pictures.
Dog, I need to see that stuff, man.
We did. They were Buster. You know, he loved that with the mime face and everything.
I remember.
Yeah, that was dope, man. Yeah, we had that. We had that place rocking, man.
Oh yeah.
And it was what's that DJ? He had the spinner on his head. He had like the hat with the propeller. Scribbles. They had
Oh yeah,
Scribbles
yeah,
with
yeah.
him.
Scribbles was the
Yeah,
guy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
Well, we did two shows there. There was one with the ones that would tap the bottle and twist the
Twist the
cat.
cap. Young black
Yeah,
teenagers. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he was their DJ, and then Leaders of the New School we opened up with. You
Yeah,
know.
dog. I remember doing shows with y'all at so many places when I think in retrospect, and I was like things that it'd be a certain day I'll walk by and it'll hit me and I'll be like, oh, you remember the Charlie Horse? You know what I'm saying? It was like, yo,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah, like and Jordan Night shows and the clowns and
He
all that.
showed up to that show at
Yeah, I
Lawrence
remember.
that day.
I
I
remember.
got
I was
that
there.
picture too.
Yeah, yeah. And so
That's funny.
it was like, you just these things will randomly hit you, and then you think, I mean, even when I was talking about in that song, right? The tour thing when we did the whole Vermont stuff out in the woods and what I'm saying, those
Northfield.
schools, Northfield.
We
Yeah,
did
yeah,
we
yeah.
did the whole college and high school tour.
Absolutely. And that was
Remember
my first exposure
remember
to that.
Susan Bondage?
I do. Yeah, like
Her
yeah, you can
husband
stay in the
was
crib.
like a bird watcher or something.
Yes, dog. Yes. Like, and that was crazy. And for me, that was the first time. And props to y'all for that. It was the first time. I mean, it's really led to what I do. It's like colleges and schools is really, really my thing. And it was that first. It wasn't our first, but it was our first. Like where we sort of took it on the road. We were doing like local shows at schools and stuff too, even then. But it was like that was a different thing. Like going with y'all and seeing how y'all performed. Y'all did, and that's what I was talking to Don Juan about. Y'all were artists. You know what I'm saying? It was like the
Right.
entertainers are coming, and y'all were personalities, and you guys were like you were on as soon as you went on the stage. It was like the personality come through. You guys do the laughing thing, and you guys do your
Right,
routines. You have everybody laughing. I remember we'd have contests to see who could get the most applause. Right,
Right, exactly.
And here's dumb us thinking, yo, we gonna get all that applause because we're nasty. You know what I'm saying? And then see you guys do your thing. It was like, no, that's how you perform right there. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't match like you're saying that organized structure when the poppers come through
Right.
and do their thing. It's like forget it when there is nice and sync. I mean, and it's no wonder you see people like y'all do a routine like 15 years after you learned it and it's flawless. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, that it's almost like military. The precision. For people that don't know the routine practices, haven't been to a lot of your practices for many times, man. Throughout the years.
We used to practice in MIT at in a handball court. Actually, we used to practice all those flip routines in the hand. You don't know how many bruises we.
Yeah, I remember being in those Cambridge spots and the Boston spots. I remember some of those
Yeah.
places you take us to where you practice, and I was like, yo, they just.
We
do
used to
whatever.
keep it real underground and quiet,
Real
like
underground.
Yeah. I mean, they don't do that no more. A lot of these crews now, they practice together. They go to jams and they work out together while they're in
Yes, sir.
jams. That was unheard of back in the day when we were floor loads. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? We were
absolutely.
very discreet.
Bring
You
my
know?
man. I'm gonna bring my man Fly in here, man, to jump in the
All right,
conversation.
cool.
Fly,
Yo,
what it is, man?
man,
you
enjoying the
doing?
conversation as always, man.
Yeah, man. Introduction, man. There you go. Shout
What's
out,
up, man?
man Fly.
How you doing, man? Nice meeting you.
Man, shallow
Nasty
pleasure, all
MC right
mine,
there.
man.
That
He's being generous, man. He's
Nah,
being
man.
generous.
Nah,
Respect,
not at all.
man.
Not at all. Superhero
Always got to
Steve
give
right
respect, man.
there.
So
Superhero Steve.
So if I wanted to, I had a question. If I can ask a question,
Sure.
if I wanted to put together like some poppers and breakers, what would I have to do?
Well, that's funny that you said that because actually I spoke to Megatron the other day.
Uh-oh.
He's out of town right now, but we used to have a thing called Slaughterhouse. Not familiar with the MCs, but this was more with dancing.
Remember
We used to
that.
train all our students, and the reason why we called it Slaughterhouse is because whenever they entered contests, they would win, and a lot of people started getting upset because they were winning so much. And that's that's why we called it Slaughterhouse. You know what I mean? Because they would go in
That's
and wreck
killing
shop.
it.
You know.
Yeah.
And a lot of dancers from around Boston were getting upset. And we were like, yo, y'all could come and train with us too. You know what I mean? It was open to everybody. You know what I mean? And things that like poppers would learn, like for instance, something that would take us 2 to 3 years to learn, like basic foundation of all the styles,
Yeah.
we would teach it to these kids in like 4 to 6 months, maybe even less.
Oh
So like
wow.
we would put them through, we would put them through the training, you know what I mean? Foundation, how to really understand music, really how to appreciate and how to really understand your body, you know what I mean? And
Well, that's
And
crazy.
we have like 10 students right now that are like traveling the world right now. They're making like big money. Well, they were before the Corona thing, anyway.
Mm.
So, but yeah, so
That's
we're
the
gonna
man to talk
form
to
that
right there.
again. We're gonna form that again. But there's other people that you can contact. You can contact El Nino from
Mm-hmm.
Floor Lords. He's the new
Doing it
president.
big.
He's Leno's nephew. He's like one of the best b-boys in the world right
Yeah,
now.
we had Lena
And
on a couple months ago too. Shout out to
yeah,
Lena.
you could
Linsky.
his nephew. He's like incredible.
Dope.
And he's really humble. And like I said, he can either help you himself because they have like he trains a lot of young kids now, and or he could point you in the right direction where
So
people that can
And the musicality with him is off the charts too. You know what I'm saying?
So one of the most recent things,
Right.
I guess, getting to first, I would like to recreate that concept because I missed that growing up. I was born in '87, so I didn't really get the full breadth of like the development of b-boys. And I grew up in the Midwest too, so it wasn't really just major like it was on the East Coast, like in the New York, Boston area. And so
I hear the accent.
yeah, so I always had an appreciation though and a value for really any art. Anybody that takes something artful seriously and put the time to work in the master, I just have a huge respect for and admiration. But I've especially appreciated b-boys, like the popping and the breaking and all, just the combination of all those things. And so I want to recreate for like one of my next videos. I got a song called "Step It Up." I want to recreate that, like the whole scene.
Okay.
For the video, and so if I got to fly out that way to do the video, I will.
And where are you at now?
I'm in Mississippi right now.
Mississippi. I'm trying to think what
Shout out to Freedom Corner.
FCB.
I'm trying to think of what other cities are down there in Mississippi. Because I know dances all across the globe. So there's people down south. There's people down south. There's people down West Coast. They're everywhere now. Japan, Korea. It's crazy now.
Yeah, we're a few hours
I mean?
from New Orleans, probably 3 hours from New Orleans.
Oh yeah, because I have friends that go from New York down to New Orleans and they hit on the street out there all the time and they make money. They're called the Breeze Team. You know what I mean? And yeah, they're the ones that dance for KRS. You know what I mean? They grew up with KRS and they dance with him, but they usually go down south when it's cold out here. They go down to warm areas down there and they make money. So, but yeah,
I'm serious, man.
Dude, you can find a lot on YouTube too. You know what I mean?
Okay.
A lot of it you can find on YouTube because we didn't have this back in the day with all this stuff, but that's how like people that want to learn, they just go on there and they watch now. That's why a lot of these young kids now,
it's like the Matrix.
It's like
now I'm a popper.
Yeah, exactly. It's some truth to that now. It's like seriously stuff that like they just sit there and they rewind and play and rewind and play, and it's
Same
like
with learning math.
we didn't have that. We had Soul Train. You know what I mean?
Right.
Once a week.
Yeah, exactly. And you only had 45 minutes to learn what you could learn during that Soul Train line.
And if you forgot it was on, you'd be like, man, I didn't have my weekend schedule right.
So you got to wait till next week.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Times change.
Yeah, hope somebody showed up on our city.
But like I said, any type of stuff. If you Google your area and put in b-boys, I'm sure anyone that's doing anything like that in that area will come up. So I think you can start right there with that on YouTube.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do that now.
How do you find the culture now, Dave, comparatively to like how it was? Do you think it's better? Do you think it's regressed?
I mean, with the Red Bull thing, it's getting more commercial and it's getting worldwide. But like a lot of these young kids, man, it's kind of watered down, man. Like it's like you can't go out. Like if someone's whack or if someone needs work. And you tell that they get really offended now. These young kids, man. You know what I mean? Like back then, they were blatant. They were like, "You stink," or "You need to go train," or whatever, and that was it. You just had to go do it to get better.
Jam. Yeah.
And the thing is that they don't take it as serious as we do. It's like a lot of these kids are college kids and all this other stuff. So it's like, we were bred into this. You know what I mean? It was like. I mean, when we battled and stuff like that, we battled for our names. You know what I mean? If you lost, you couldn't use that name no more and stuff like that back in the day. Nowadays, it's more like, even the stuff they wear, like you see them, like they look like they're like, no disrespect to Harvard Square, but like remember how they used to have like the punk rock kids and all that stuff. Sometimes you get kids dressing like that when they're breaking, and some of them are dope. But it's like, dude, what are you wearing, man? They're like, it's because we used to be
evolved,
like,
right?
yeah, we used to be like, you got to look fresh to dance fresh. You know what I mean? Like if you look good, you come out in a nice suit, fat laces, nice, just clean sneakers. Wearing all your hip hop gazelles, whatever. You know what I mean? If you look dope, you were gonna dance dope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was how you felt. If you felt good, you were gonna dance good.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't know what they're wearing. You know what I mean? They're wearing some craziness now, but some of these, yeah,
I missed the dedication.
That was part of the culture. It was part of the culture, man. Like and the thing is too is that they separated everything, which I don't like. They separated the MCs with the graffiti writers, with the B-boys. It was all one back then.
Right.
Like everybody hung out with one. You would have MCs that would have graffiti writers making like their hip hop gear, like shirts and graffiti pants and all that other jackets and all that stuff. Nowadays they separated it all. So it's like if you go to an event like a B-boy event, it's not as big as it would be. You know what I mean? Back in the 80s, you would have thousands of people, you know what I mean, on every corner. Mm-hmm. And now it's like probably a couple hundred, you know what I mean, if there's an event. And the same thing with the MC shows. I'm sure they're a lot smaller, like locally, than they would be back in the day,
Yeah,
like
it goes through cycles, but for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, they just added one of these one of our videos from 1985. It's we used to dance for Rock Against Racism. Mm-hmm. We did this back then in the 80s. We used to go to different cities, and we used to perform for racism, like to prevent it. And what they did was
for racism.
against it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I know that didn't sound right.
Charlatron for racism.
Yeah,
that's a weird look.
So we had a huge battle, Floor Lords 1 and 2 battles, Unique Dominoes, Boston City Breakers, and it's on YouTube too. It's Floor Lords 1 and 2 versus Unique Dominoes, Boston City Breakers, and Spin City. But then what they did was they brought together all these MCs and all these DJs and all these graph writers, and we had it was behind Madison Park outside, and the whole thing's on, and they added that to the hip hop archives of history for Boston in Copley Library now. So like if you want to go research it, you can research it and stuff, all of it and stuff, which is So, but they show that battle with all of us on YouTube and stuff like that. It's like a huge.
What was the full name of it? I'm looking at the Unique Dominoes.
It's Floor Lords. It's Floor Lords 1 and 2 versus Unique Dominoes, Spin City, and Boston City Breakers.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of that actually.
Sound like El Nino.
Right.
That's when you know your crew, right?
Right. I'm gonna have to.
I'm seeing Basement Kings versus Floor Lords.
Yeah, you'll see a whole bunch of different events and stuff. Like we traveled. There's even Floor Lords versus Rocksteady on there too. We battled Rocksteady. Lino went against Crazy Legs and everything. It was crazy. It was at a hip hop show we performed at.
There's one 2000 in there. It says Floor Lords Crew versus Rocksteady Crew 2000.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
we were at a hip hop show in New York, and so they wanted to have all the B-boys battle. So since it was just us and them, they had us go against each other, and you know who won that. It says it at the end, so I don't want to I don't want to hurt my, because I have a lot of friends in Rocksteady too.
Let's show a piece of that, right? Let's run a piece of that. Let's see if we can bring that up.
You'll see El Nino when he was real little too.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say doing the math must have been. Let's see. Let's go with this. Bang, boom, bam. This one, right?
That should be it. Yeah.
Bro, you're a pro now, man.
Yeah, that's it. That's Alien Nest right there from Rock City.
Yeah. Keep narrating.
He's down with Zulu Kings now. That was a little stage too. Music kept cutting off on me. Yeah. That's Crazy Legs in the white tank top. There's Lefty Left. Lefty has his own martial arts school in Harvard Square. That's Smurf from Rocksteady. It's my homie too. He represents the Bronx. He's a good dude, man. That's Lino's nephew. Oh, that's El Nino. Look how little he was then. But he still was repping. This is Fever One. He's from the way. He's from the Midwest too. This is Flight. This is El Nino's older brother. Here comes Alien Nuts again. Trying to recover. There goes Lefty again. Oh. Oh. There's Crazy Legs. Now him and Lino go back and forth. Classic. There you go, Lino. This is like a classic battle, man. This is like... That's when you know when he goes, oh, there's Smurf, had to help him out. The Poppers didn't go, unfortunately. Fables was there from Magnificent Force with Dougie Fresh. He was over there, and me and Domino were on the other side, but the Poppers never got our chance. It was strictly B-Boy, so we let them do their thing. go poop, El Nino.
Watch that all day, man. Yo, for me,
it's funny. It was a classic battle, but it started getting personal near the end.
Oh, of course. For me, man, I could, I love B-boying, but I could watch poppers all day, man. Like popping is for me is just crazy. I just always love it, man. It's one of the first things that got me into hip hop. It's watching people pop in New York City, honestly. Just when I was a young kid.
Electric boogie style.
Yeah, man, for real. Just a whole different thing. What up?
But that gives you that gives you a little example about like when we travel. There was many times we were in New York and we had so many battles versus crews because we were from Boston, so they weren't trying to give it up, so we had to take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta tell me where is a shallow one, man. We gotta maybe run one of those a little later, man.
I have a lot. If you type in "shallow poppin'," there's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that, man. I didn't even.
I have a demo, the judges demo that I did at Book of Styles, Funk and Focus, in DC in 2013.
Right. I see.
I'm wearing all red and white.
Well, there's one you're wearing all black to pop right up. Pop and Todd, Megatron,
and
Shallow.
It says Isolations all day.
Nah, just grooving in the studio. Shallow, Pop and Waving, Domino Memorial. Oh, that's crazy.
There's one that says Isolations all day. It's me, Tron, and my student Pop and Todd. He's from Seattle. He's nasty too.
Word. Let's see. Isolation.
Shows Tron first.
Yeah, I got that. Okay, that has his picture of you on it. All right, yeah, let's run that too. Hold on. Tell me if I got the right one.
We're in the studio training, and but we're getting it in. Todd came into town, and we all started. He was like pushing us, which was dope.
That one right there.
Yeah.
Right,
and actually, I'm dancing off of Acrobatics Jam.
Oh, word, that's hot.
I beat-freaked the hell out of it too.
Let's run that then. Let's put the audio on there. Boom, bam, bang. Oh,
yeah, that's it.
Hello, I'm sorry, Tron. For those who don't know, it's 2013.
Yeah, exactly.
Representing for the big man.
Watch the slow-mo he does.
They always know every part of the music.
This is my student, Pop and Todd. Tell me what you think.
He has a good teacher.
Here I come right now. Here you go, Pete.
Nowadays, rappers come through with a brief flurry. But yo, it ain't really no need to worry, cause you listening to flows from the heavens. I don't drive, but always hear act your legend. My response, I'm working hard, serving my fans and serving God. The key to me in this rap game is simply learn the odds. When I did, I became a businessman. Now the whole industry like, yo, who is this man? Lil Bruh and Afro, you know who they are. Cats getting money since was off the radar. Start the world tour with the name of Wednesday. Back in New York City, 5 on Wednesdays. Always say, keep the concept specific. Not setting all the trends. Now when you see, be prepared for the flow. When you see Big Cool, it's the knockout blow. When you see Vontae, watch out for Big Joe. Disappear, say to let y'all know. You gotta be prepared. Are you ready to make your mark? Be prepared. Are you ready to move the scene? Be prepared. Are you ready to take the lead? That's my brother. Everybody needs to get props for their grind. Instead of the time they invested in their grind, I think we got it twisted, got it all wrong.
Watch me break down the lyrics.
People tagging along to each and every song. It's going up to get the people all on their feet. Ain't nothing wrong with dancing, but we ain't taking chances. Not black radio sounding like Sesame Street. In the middle of a war, playing for keeps. With an idiot in office that we shouldn't impeach. But you would never know, checking Urbane Radio to let the music tell it everything is sweet. I'm done trying to touch who don't wanna be rich. I wanna touch the youth, but here's the truth. I play this sport, and now I carry the torch. But like
You've gone a little longer than the previous dancer.
Yeah, I finished the song off. I know I was in a zone.
There's no getting you off now. Why stop?
You got me thinking I could pop watching you.
Oh my God. That's so
This is the end of it right here.
Wow. That was
And this is just.
That was 40 years in the game at that point.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Yo, that's insane, dog.
I
Tell
didn't
me
even
about it.
realize that was acrobatic till like probably like a couple months after I kept watching that.
Oh, word. Yeah, absolutely, man. Shout out to
Hey,
Ack. Yo,
Yeah, act's dope.
crazy,
listen,
man. Yeah, represent hip hop culture
popping
right
is
there.
definitely my favorite of the.
Me too, man.
Yeah, hands down. Like
Yeah,
popping especially, man.
absolutely. Yo, you ever have? I mean, I know you guys did a little bit of movie work, but has anyone ever come up to you and been like, "Yo, we need a robot," to be in a movie? Like,
Actually, it's funny. I was in a commercial and not a commercial, but when the ball drops in New York.
Mhm.
Well, there's a thing. I did a video with Carson Daly and the lady from Lynch,
Mhm.
Miss Lynch from Glee. The gym
Oh
teacher
yeah,
from
yeah, yeah,
Glee.
yeah.
Well,
I'm in
they
the middle of a
hosted.
stormy
They
weekend.
hosted. They hosted the ball drop, and I think it was 2013 too. But my friend Bam Bam from New York City Breakers, he got me the gig,
Mm.
and the lady called me up, and so like I sent her a video, and then she says she was asking me my size because they asked me to dress up as the Pope,
What?
and I had to wear the
Wow.
same outfit that the Pope wore because that year when they had a new Pope,
Yeah.
she did like a whole song and about all the things that went on when the Kardashian married Kanye and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. So they had all these lookalikes, and they had the guys from Breaking Bad and all that on there. And they had me as the Pope, so I was in there popping while Carson
That's
Daly
crazy.
and
I've
her
not
were
seen that.
talking in the beginning. It's
That's
on there too. It says
that's nuts.
New Year's Eve on NBC Jane with Jane Lynch.
And they thought that would just be like kind of some wild, just like
Yeah, they thought it would be funny. Like
yeah,
she
yeah,
did
yeah.
like a whole what's that when they sing and they rhyme like about the things that happened
Yeah,
during
yeah,
that
yeah.
year.
Right. Recap
So
or
and it
whatever.
was live on NBC. It was worldwide. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which was dope.
You guys were always
Yeah.
popping
So
up in something. I mean, it was just like, yeah, it was
they
either a
always had
movie
us
or a
doing
TV show or
craziness.
halftime or something. Yeah, man.
But
What's the
they paid
crazy?
me. They
What's
paid
that?
me $2,000 for 10 minutes. I didn't even dance. They had me
To the
dance with
front.
no music. Yeah, it was
Really?
crazy.
What's the most crazy show you think? I mean, I know you shot out some crazy ones already, man, with the Busta Rhymes and all that stuff. But when you go back and you think about them, like, what's the most nuts one you think you've done? That's nuts right there. I don't even know if you can
Yeah,
top
that's
that.
pretty
But
crazy.
dressing as the Pope for New Year's in
Yeah. Well,
Times
if you
Square.
see it, they put like white stuff in my hair that made me look old and everything. It was crazy, man.
Yeah. I gotta check that
And they
one out.
had me wear the same outfit. They steamed the outfit just like the Pope does, and everything was
And that's
crazy.
it. And it's
If you
like your body type, you're not gonna expect someone to be as ill as you are. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Just come out, and be like, yo.
Killing it.
And that's always been the thing with you, man. It's like you and Charlie, you just be like, you gotta
Well,
be
that's the thing
kidding
that
me.
always surprised people because we were a lot heavy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
I've
so
seen
they
I've
didn't.
seen Skinny Shallow too, man. So it's
Yeah. Well,
it's not a
I dropped 50 pounds
oh,
now.
congrats,
So
man. That's crazy.
yeah. So it's like
You got some stuff you trying to get back at it? You got something coming up
well,
or
the
what?
thing is that I'm going through some health issues, but
Right.
I'm going through dialysis right now. I do
Mm.
dialysis 3 times a week, but I still dance and everything. But it's tough.
Word.
But I
Yeah.
dropped and I had to drop the weight anyways.
Yep.
Naturally they had me drop the weight. It's all fluid weight.
Yeah.
So
Do you find, does the dancing help, or does it make it harder, or how's that treating
it's
you?
tough, man, because
Yeah.
like let's put it this way. Yesterday I had dialysis for 3.5 hours,
Ooh.
and I took off 10 pounds of fluid.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Mm.
sometimes like when I come home, I just want to rest. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
like,
Right.
but now like I'm kind of like I bought myself a GoPro, and because of this whole Corona thing, that's really been like hurting me too because I can't go out and work out or walk or like do all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And I have this thing in my arm for the dialysis that I can't do any weights no more, and I can't do push-ups or anything like that because
Mm.
if it busts, I could pass away. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So I can only do cardio now,
Yeah.
so that's the only thing I can do to stay in shape now. So I bought myself a GoPro
Mm.
and what are those things that you well, anyways, I bought a whole video thing so I could start practicing in the house again.
Oh, that's
You
crazy.
know?
I think I saw on your page that you had a GoPro.
Yeah,
And,
so I
didn't
just
realize the
started
whole
doing
full
it.
connection. Okay, that's hot, man.
I just got my second practice in Sunday, so it's the practice was good, but I'm not where I wanted because I ain't danced in a year. You know what I mean? So it's just getting all my technique back again. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
well, I
like,
saw you starting to post some stuff, and I was like, oh, Dave's coming, getting back at it, man. Trying to get there. It's always a grind to get there when the health is, and that's serious, man. So, best of luck to you on that too. That's the real deal.
Yeah, I just had a surgery last Friday where they ran a tube through my wrist all the way to my heart because they wanted to check all my arteries to make sure they weren't clogged.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them was like 50% clogged, but all the rest were fine.
Mm.
And the reason for it is because to get on the transplant list, you know what I mean? So I can get a transplant to get a new kidney, and then I can live a normal life again. So that was the last surgery I got to do. I just got to take one more picture of my stomach and my pelvis, and now I'm good to go. So then I could go back to doing normal things again if I get this transplant, you know.
Now, what's the process for that? Is that something that you have to like promote out there? Or they do that for you, or
they do it too, but it's like you got to find somebody that a match, you know what I mean? That matches like your blood type, and obviously got to be a healthy kidney and stuff like that. So, but it's a 5-year waiting list, and the thing about when you get on the transplant list, it goes retro of when you first started. Since I started dialysis back in 2017,
okay,
I get pushed back. I get pushed to the front of the line now.
So you could be like a year max, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Maybe even less.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the thing is it's been tough, man. Like I said, for like the first 2 years, I didn't tell anybody about it, But then a lot of people started like saying, they started noticing, like, not really like.
I knew you had some health thing going on, but I didn't exactly know what it was.
Yeah,
Man.
and I told a couple personal close people and like family, and then like I let it all out there like the last couple of years. I was like telling everybody what's going on, and people were surprised because they were like, "Damn, you're still going out to jams," and I'm like, "This is what I do, man."
That's the life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're serious about it, then you got to be about it,
Yes, sir.
For real.
Yes, sir.
So,
yeah, man.
And back to your question about the craziest.
It's hard to beat the Pope. It's hard to beat the Pope in Times Square, man.
Well, one of the biggest shows we did, I could say, is at the Kiss concert we did. We danced with we were there. We opened up for Mark Wahlberg. We danced with Mark Wahlberg. We opened up with. We opened up for James Brown.
We were on the stage. Yo, we were like breaking through the back. Yo,
it's funny because Mark had his dances, but he heard about us, and he was like, "Yo," and Donnie got on the drums, his brother, and then Mark started. This is when he had Good Vibrations and all that.
Yeah, man.
So he was like,
I remember that show vividly, and so does Steve, man.
What happened was he pushed his dances aside to have us to go up and perform, and we just did a routine right on the spot. We didn't even have nothing choreographed to his music. We just went up and freestyled it.
We were like on the side of the stage while y'all were doing
it.
Then we got kicked out later. Trevor, as me and Fee call him, the security guard, was not having it. He was like, if you're not doing something on this stage, you're gonna get out of here right now, and then
they're strict. Well, the funny thing is that when James Brown came on, like most artists at the Kiss concert, you could stay backstage and watch the show.
Yeah.
But when James Brown came on, they cleared the whole backstage and everything. They made everybody go to their dressing rooms and everything.
Was in that show, dog.
Crisscross.
Okay, so Fee was gonna kill me.
That was a crazy show, man.
Check this out.
Yeah, there was a lot more too.
This is how unknown they were. So we're in the tent, right? We're in the tent with all the media, right? And so Fee and I had our matching red sweatshirts with the blue X's, right? We're wearing the matching sneakers. We had a sneaker endorsement deal at the time, some shorts, right? We're sitting there. And because we had the X on, these two media dudes come up to us and they sit down. They're ready to do an interview with us, right? And we have bio pictures. You guys did too, actually. In fact, you guys were the first ones to really put us on to having cool bio pictures, And to this day, I swear by that, right? So these dudes from the media, I think one of them was London. They sit us down, and it's me and Fee on each side, and he goes, "So, you're crisscross, right?" Fee and I look at each other, and we're like, "Nah." And then Mark came by like 5 seconds later. He was like, "Yo, what's up, man? And like all the media wanted to go chase Marky Mark, you know, and we were laughing for the whole thing. We're like, can you believe it? We were crisscrossed though, and we couldn't figure it out. And then we realized it was the X's on our thing after. We were like, oh, yo, that's they didn't know
because they
anything.
wore the cross-colored
So,
clothes. Yeah,
exactly. So that was my funny story.
that was a crazy show.
Yeah, dog. Celine Dion, James Brown, Marky Mark, something different.
Color Me Bad.
Color Me Bad, yeah, dog.
They were there. There was like probably 100 groups.
Yeah, dog. It was crazy. That's
that was a good one.
That was my first exposure to multiple stages too. Like
I got one to top that, Pete. Though I got a crazy one.
What you got?
We performed at the Apollo. Right, we were special guests at the Apollo.
That's decent.
Now you know how we used to wear the mime faces, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And with the Wild Thing draws and all that stuff. So what happened was they weren't going to let us on stage. They thought it was a racial thing. When we were just about to go on, right? And it's funny. We used to wear like these like almost like sweatpants, but they were like MC Hammer pants and stuff at the time. This is when they were in. I remember. And we used to wear underwear which had Wild Thing ironed onto our underwear.
Yeah.
We used to do crazy stuff. We used to do crazy stuff in our shows to make people laugh and everything. So what would happen is so anyways, we were about to go on stage, and Jeremy was so nervous, right, that he forgot to put his underwear on. He was naked under his pants.
No.
Now, mind you, our dressing room was on the third floor, right?
For real.
And now, mind you, they're introducing us now, and he has no drawers on.
That's something different.
He just has the pants on. Now, imagine if we would have dropped. Now, mind you, during our routine, we drop our pants and we show the Wild Thing part, right?
That would have been wild.
Imagine if he would have dropped his pants and he would have had no drawers on. So, anyways, so Jeremy all of a sudden goes, "Oh shoot!" And Tron goes, "What?" He goes, "I forgot to put my underwear on." Tron screams at him. You know how Tron used to get mad, right?
Yeah.
Screams at him. He's like, "Jeremy, you better get up and change and be down here in 5 seconds in time for our intro." So like Chicky, it was so he had to run up floor flights, change, get his underwear on, come back down, and walk right onto the thing. So anyways, they weren't going to let us perform. They thought it was like a race thing.
At that
like,
point, right? It was Chicky, Jeremy, you and
yeah, but at the time I think it was just me, Tron, and Jeremy.
Oh, it was okay.
I think and so they weren't going to let us perform because they thought it was a racial thing, like we were going to do something racist, racist. Right. So we were like, no, don't worry, you'll understand, because we used to do like a mime intro,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but they were kind of questioning it. They were like, I don't know. They were like, just watch, you'll see, you're gonna like it. So we go out on stage, and then we used to have like an intro. It says "Straight from Boston, Mass," and they booed us when they heard that because they were in New York.
Well. Yeah.
And so then they were like, give it up for something different, right? And then we used to have the Halloween so Tron used to mime across the stage doing that Halloween piece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, with the Jason thing.
His mime.
And but it didn't have that. And then it went into Rob Bass. He would go, "Good evening. You have now entered the home of MC Rob Bass, 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 bass." So he would strobe across the stage. He's like, "So get a hold of your seats because we're about to tear this place apart. Pot. Whole crowd. It was like, ooh. Whole crowd started going crazy, boy. But when he mimed across the stage, it was complete silence. You couldn't hear shit.
Yeah.
No one said nothing. And then when he said, "We're about to tear this place apart, pot," then we went into our flip routine.
Bang, yeah.
We owned that stage after that.
Man. Yeah, absolutely.
And then when we used to have, we used to do a whole flip routine right in and out of each other.
Yep.
And then what would happen is we'd go with Big Daddy Kane, stop, hold up, pause, quit, change the groove and funk it up a little bit. And we go, and we turn our backs to the crowd. Then we go, let's do it. We pull our pants down and we have dun. Like we'd have Wild Thing on our ass, on our underwear. Right. Crowd would go crazy. They used to laugh. They used to go. So then then we start our solos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So then, while we're doing our solos, Pete, we were like on one knee, right? And Jeremy's out there soloing. Next thing I know, I see paper flying, dropping, because you couldn't see past the first 3 rows because the lights were blinding from the audience. You know what I mean? From the lights.
Which is a good
and
thing.
like we're seeing paper like rain down on the stage. Like we're like seeing paper fall beside us. And when like Tron turns to me and goes, "Here, this must be yours." It was $1 bills. They were throwing money at us.
Wow.
That's the biggest compliment you can get at the Apollo is when they throw money at you.
Yeah.
So anyways, they gave us like a standing ovation. And when we walked off stage, the bouncer was like, "Yo, this is for y'all." And he had like all this money in his hand, like he was hugging it. And he handed it to us. Like it was all balls up $1 bills.
Wow.
You know what I mean? We turned it out but the funny thing is that we couldn't record the show because they don't allow you
that one. Yeah.
They don't allow you to record in the Apollo.
Right.
Like artists and stuff, they don't allow you to record backstage and all that, It's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, it was the craziest show we ever been a part of. That was like sick. You know what I mean?
I remember you used to have at your crib when you were living with your dad in Cambridge there. I remember you have like mad videos, dog. You have like tapes all over.
You know what's so funny is I don't have any
compared. Was that?
I don't have any of those no more. I left them all for Domino. When I lived in Brockton, I left them all for Domino. They were on VHS, and I left it for him, but he never went and got them. And then Domino passed, and so they were just gone. You know what I mean? I have some still, a few DVD ones. I have like the Hip Hop Awards that we did with the Wonder Twins. Me and Tron did with the Wonder Twins.
Yeah,
that was the first time we ever performed together because we used to be rivals back in the day. Right. Funkafets and Flowlos were rivals.
Yeah, that's.
But we were always cool. But it was always the B-boys. They always hated each other. You know what I mean? So we performed at the Hip Hop Awards, and we ripped that apart, man. It was crazy.
I know.
Actually, I was, and that was the first time I told Billy and Bobby they need to call themselves that. I created that character them. With
you're talking about the show that I
from the one from the cartoon,
You're talking about the MIC Awards, right? Yeah, because you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were like, "Great Scott, it's the Wonder Twins." I took it from Superman from Super Friends. I took their intro and and they stood there like they were like Superman, like with the shades on, and they were like, "Great Scott, it's the Wonder Twins." It was Superman saying it.
We got a piece.
Crowd went crazy.
One of the promos for that, I think there's a piece of y'all. In that's also online too.
I want to get a copy of that because I lost that show, but I got to call Billy and I got to get it off Billy and Bobby.
Dane has some video of that too, my man.
Oh, well, we did. No, we performed for the Fallen Firemen. That's the one Dana. We did his show in Cambridge.
Yeah.
That was a good show too.
Yeah.
We all came out in fireman outfits and we performed. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Billy and Bobby were wearing the red satin or whatever at the MIC Awards.
And we had gray and white.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, man. It was
that was a dope show, man.
I was gonna say what was good about those shows was a lot of different sets, represented, and there's for me, I wrote an article about Billy and Bobby when I was in college, and and people didn't really know about them up in Lowell. It was like, these Bobby Brown's dancers. You know what I'm saying? These cats have like a crazy history. Shout out to them too. I'm always trying to follow their pages.
Billy and Bobby, man, my brothers, man.
They're still doing it.
Yeah, they performed with Prince, Sheila E. They did a lot of people, man. But when they danced with Bobby, when they performed with Bobby Brown at Providence, he kicked them off the tour because they were outshining him.
I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I'm like, how you gonna hate on them when they're helping your show?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like crazy. He got mad because they opened up for him, and they ripped it. And then when they came out on it, everybody was talking about them, and he got jealous.
It was always funny to me about them. It was that they were like they were like the best kept secret in Boston. It was like you had to have seen them at a special place or whatever, and they just didn't get the hype. And it was just like, how are these people not? And that's why I was like, I have to write about these cats.
Well, back in the 80s, they were live too. They were the Funk Effects. They were. There was like 20 of them though. But
again, it's like funny how timing.
They always outshined everybody though.
Sure, yeah.
Because they were just out of that whole crew. They were like, everybody talked about them.
I've
You
looked
know what
at
I mean?
videos they've done a couple years ago, and it's like, how will these videos not have like millions of plays? You know what I'm saying? You watch it, and you're like, they're still sick. I mean, their choreography is ridiculous. Everything they do, you know, and it's like, and I know they were trying to do they were bordering between singing and doing that kind of stuff as well, and everyone was always trying to push them in the dance, like dance, dance, dance. You guys are so ill at the dance, but they're performers. You know what I mean? So they're like,
They're also bodybuilders.
That's it. They're huge.
They're ripped to shreds.
Always have
They're
been.
ripped to shreds.
These dudes
Yeah,
like
they
they're
do
twins
routines. They
who are ripped to shreds, who are incredible.
I wish I had a twin brother that was ripped up like that, and I was doing
God.
routines with him.
He'd be kicking
God,
your
man.
butt if you weren't. He'd be like, yo,
Yeah,
come on,
right?
man, you gotta get in this gym. You know what I'm saying? You can't have one outshine the other. Yo,
Yeah,
crazy.
man, they were just bred into performing, man. They were made to perform.
Absolutely.
Good kid, and very humble people too, man. Very good guys.
Humble
You
like
know?
this man Fly right here, man. Humble like this man Fly.
Right?
That guy's a problem right there, man.
So what? So you an MC, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir.
So you must be
man.
nasty, man.
Don't. He's exaggerating.
Look,
Baby. Don't
I've
listen
known.
to him.
Look, there's one thing about Pete. I've known Pete for a long time, and everyone he associated with's dope. You know what I mean? So I know you must got skills.
He's a humble servant, man. That's what it is, yo. I mean, one of the first conversations I had with him, I was like, it's always hard to tell someone you're almost too humble or like you hold him back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like you can just sense the lion inside of him. You know what I mean? And it was like I saw him rhyme, and I was like, yo, it's all right there. It's almost feels like he don't believe he has the force. And I was like, that can't be it, because you can see this dude's like a Jedi. You know what I'm saying? He's got Jedi skills, and he was kind of almost coming on the humble on one of these tracks. I was like, yo, you a superstar, man. You got to be a superstar all the time. And then like next three things I heard from him, I was like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, he's dope,
Jedi's
right?
there.
Yeah.
Like, yo, it's like, he ain't being humble on this. Like, you know what
I've
I'm
been
saying?
around a lot of dope MCs, man. Edo, I used to break with Edo before he used
I know, he was
to MC. He used to be a part of that Rock Against Racism too.
Mm-hmm.
He used to break too. MC
Crazy.
Fantasy, who used to be down with my boy Killer DJ, rest in peace. Killer was my man. He's from Cambridge bred too, but he was originally from Medford, but he used to live in Cambridge too.
You were always trying to tell me to hook up with him, and you know I did hook up with him actually when I was living on off of Fairmont Street on Hamilton Street, and I saw him at the sub shop there in the corner, the one at the Village there at Magazine Street. And he's like, you gotta hear some of my stuff. And we tried doing the hook up thing. Dude had like a bazillion beats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like almost too many. I was like, dog, Shallow's been talking you up like forever. And then I really, really started to find out more about him, because I was like, yo, and I was like, oh, this dude is the truth. Like I didn't realize
He inspired
the
so
entire
many
resume.
DJs from Boston.
Yeah, man.
DJ Cruz, who was with Edo G,
Sure,
Ninja
yep.
B,
Yep.
Doughboy. Like he inspired so many like you know,
Ninja
dope DJs, you know, Ninja B, man, nasty too.
I
You
got
know,
I got
he
a
was the
shot.
one that battled Rock Raider in the final when Rock Raider got his start. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
mean, and-
Rest in peace, Rock Raider too.
And you know, I did a whole album with Shame, man, which is crazy. And Shame is like, I mean, I met him back in that same time when he was DJing for Manju, and like at those battles in Lowell you were talking about. You know, it's just the talent. It's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop affected massive generations of people, and it made people sit in their room and practice their art, whether it was dancing, rhyming, DJing, graffiti, whatever it is, man. It's just like it's become a discipline for so many people that, you know, we're sitting here talking in 3 different states right now, you know, talking
Right.
about love for hip hop. It's crazy, you know. I don't
So-
want to say who to think, because I think we always thought, but it's beautiful to see it, you know.
Do you feel like, because I'm kind of feel like I'm like in the middle of 2 generations, in between like the older school
Yeah,
generation,
a lot of let's
and
hear
then
something's out there, Fly. A lot of would love to hear something, like to hear something. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, keep going. Caught in between the generations. All right.
I feel like that's how I feel. I feel like I'm caught in between 2 generations at my age. I'm 33.
I feel like I'm
And
caught
so-
between 6.
And for me, it's kind of like there's something about the art of the old school. Again, like I said, I was born in '87, so like I was still super young when like the things that y'all was talking about, like was going the hardest, right? And it was super popular, and it was catching on, and it was like a fire, right, like a blaze.
Mm-hmm.
I was too young to really have like fond memories of exactly what was going on.
Mm.
Then as I got older, and I had older brothers, siblings. That was kind of like introducing me into. I remember cassette players and all that stuff. For me, that was my era when the
Right, yeah.
when you could put a cassette player in the radio and you can actually record over it.
Yeah,
You
man.
can rap. That's where
Right.
I started. Like that was my start of rapping. I would beat on the boombox and hit record to record myself rapping and beating on the boombox at the same time, right? And so that's when I kind of started falling in love with hip hop and then listen to older. But then, you know, by the time I made 18, was conscious enough to make decisions and start, you know, hanging out at the clubs with dances and stuff like that. It was hip hop was almost totally different then.
Well, you know, it's funny. I was just gonna say it, but I didn't want to stop you. Is that you know what changed all that was NWA. When NWA came out, then gangster rap came out, and that kind of changed that whole. Because hip hop is about showing your skills, about partying, about having a good time. And when gangster rap came out, it was about all that seriousness
stuff,
about
man.
yeah, about guns and drugs and you know and
Media
you
got a hold
know
of that, and they were like, "This is what we need to promote right here." Yeah,
They figured out how to make money off.
They
of
figured out how to make money. They're like, now we can do it. You know.
So anybody that was anyone that was kind of like dancing or entertaining anything like that, a lot of these young kids thought it was like being soft.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can't get no how to dance in b-boying. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, yo,
you got to be physically strong and like in shape to
And
like be a b-boy. You know?
I never understand. Like, I mean, like, why you don't see more MCs who actually just do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see a lot of R&B cats do it
because they get discouraged when they do it. A lot of these hardcore MCs think like you're being soft if you're doing that. You know?
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get.
But the thing is back in the '80s, every MC had like dancers behind them.
Yeah.
Like you know, like even if they opened up for you or like you know whatever, you know, and especially in New York, they appreciated b-boying. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now it's like I said, when gangster rap came out, that changed the whole, bunch of stuff. And now this down south stuff, they really ain't like showing no love to no dancing.
I see signs of it all the time, peering its head
coming back.
Yeah. I see signs of it all the time, you know, and it's like
because you can't pay, and as much as they charge for concerts, you pay an MC. Like $80, $100 just to walk across the stage back and forth. But you got to show me more than that for $100. I can watch you at home.
That's the thing. See, I need to show you more, but people that don't know, they go, they're like, "This is great." You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was about to say. I think people just don't know that they're missing it because really, at the end of the day, and that's kind of like one of my initiatives with the next video I'm trying to do called "Step It Up," is to introduce. In a way, and I kind of do that because I'm strong in my faith, but I try to put it in my music, in a way where it's digestible, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of like one of my introductions with the video and the b-boy and the popping and all that type of stuff to try to introduce it to this generation in a way that's more digestible without necessarily diluting it, where you get the effect and understand what it's about. And people still to this day, the people that make the most money, honestly, are the entertainers. So that's really evident. If you look at Beyonce, Chris Brown, Usher, these are the people that actually still get on stage and actually entertain and perform. They still make money. They're global. So people are limiting themselves. Like that's how I feel that the music industry is too heavily influenced by people that don't make music. About the dollars and cents and the streams and actually making money. But as an artist, you know, you make your money from performing. So those people that decide to perform, they still outsell people who don't.
Right.
So that shows that people still appreciate an entertainer.
It's funny because I was going to say earlier when we first started this interview was that thing about dancers, we're not like singers or rappers. Like, in order for us to prove our wealth or who we performed with, we have to take pictures with artists. Yep. And that's what we did. Every artist we performed with, we took pictures with to prove that we performed with these people. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when people say, come to us, and as a dancer, you say, well, what experience you got? You say, well, I danced with this person. Do you got any proof of that? And you know, you
Right.
can't. A lot of times, you can't video yourself when you're on stage with these people
Tell me
because
about
you
it.
have to dance. You know what I mean? So it's like the only thing we could do is either have, if you can get a copy of the show, which is really hard for like shows like a Kiss show and stuff like
Story of
that,
my life.
because they copyright all that stuff
Shut
and they
that
don't like to
down.
give that stuff out,
Right. Yeah.
especially with all the.
Yeah, I tell people that though, Dave, as an MC. I mean, and by the way, we're not letting you fly off the hook here. We got people asking for bars, man. I was about to play some
Yeah, I
want to
hear you
maybe
too.
we get some,
Man,
some
play that
bars,
fly.
but
Let them know that the album's out there, man.
The album is out
I got
there,
content out there. They can get a good.
we're going to run some Iron
portion.
Fly in a sec. But I was going to say this. I mean, you know, I was sitting back and much like yourself, Dave, trying to think about all the shows I've done, right? And trying to put a number on it, you know, and like it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of shows that I've done. And I have like 8 videos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my point. Like,
I got like
if
8
you
videos.
don't, yeah, you gotta document everything, man.
I
'cause
like
if
doing a
not,
show in like Cleveland or something, and it's like I don't have the money to roll with like a videographer. You know what I'm saying all the time. So now it's like about propping up the camera in the right place. Or I put that in the contract ahead of time. I'm like, as long as I get a video from the thing,
a copy, right?
Yeah. Speaking of video, yo, Fly, we're gonna give you a little piece, both of you guys. It's a little clip. My man who we had up on the show last week doing 2 weeks ago doing the 5 Minutes of Flames, he actually recorded some of the people in there and put it together. So I'm going to give you a taste of a live show
that's
we
gonna
did.
be dope.
Then I'm going to give you a taste of some Fly. So they don't have much. We did a little bit of our new single, Bye Bye, and me doing an acapella or whatever. So let me try to see what we can do here and get something up here. Speaking about getting it videotaped. All right. Boom. Boom. Let's go with this right here. This is ProQuo.
You really sure? Very, very sure. I had no idea what I thought I was going to do. I just said I should do it.
They don't even know what ProQuo is. It's like Professor Lyrical.
Or built for this with the skills and will travel. When y'all semi-pro with your flow, that's Will Ferrell. Well, my desire is more higher than Pharaoh. I am not the typical rapper rapping, but buying apparel. But I stay fly whenever my fly's classic, but it's obvious I'd rather be dropping on teaching classes. I'd rather travel than Atlas speaking at campuses, talking about what labels instead of what labels on my pants these is. And I ain't knocking, rocking primates on your pockets, but it's obvious monkey see, monkey do when dudes go shopping. If you got it, drop a deposit on a vacation in the tropics, cause a trend will come and go, but all the stress, mostly nonsense. I've done contents in colleges around the continent, had continental breakfasts at several different conferences, corporate endorsements and several of different sponsorships, offers these acapellas I prepare, spit with flawlessness.
Sheesh.
Okay.
Appreciate it. We're gonna give y'all one more. This is a single that's out right now. It's called produced by Let's go. Do I start this song? I do. Oh, good. Because I can think of what my first one.
I said, do I start this song?
Yeah. Check it out now. When you see all them haters out there, what you gotta do is you gotta say that. Bye bye hater. It's so good. You know what I'm saying? Bye bye hater. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
Getting flushed out. It's getting flushed out.
It's so good. Check it out. Yo, here's the flair of a gentleman. A lady's man. He was raised by 10 of them. It's all love. Being blind is a synonym. That's hard. That's the synonym.
Like a light bulb.
I just made a middle name.
Say it look like a light bulb. I know, right?
And that's just a video of somebody in the crowd.
No, they
who
do
luckily took that. But we got that's all. It only goes one more second. But we got our own video of it yet. We just haven't edited it yet. So we had
That was you, Fly Ryman?
no.
That was Cruz
that was
and
Jay
Pro.
Cruz, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He
It
was
Cruz.
getting it.
It's,
Happy birthday
man,
to
play that
Cruz.
Freedom Corner joint, man. I mean, it is the ProQuo show.
All right. Let me get a little Freedom Corner in here. You're gonna hear Fly anchoring this track. You know when
Hey,
an MC
Fly.
like me has someone anchoring the track, they gotta be nice, right? You know what I'm saying? Like you don't just have anybody anchor
It was a
track.
coincidence, Dave. It was a coincidence.
Don't let him try that. Don't let him say that. All right, let's do this. Bang, boom. I think Rhonda wants to hear the real bars. She's like, time to bring the graphic artists into the family to handle pictures and video. I know they're probably hungry to get back involved. We're gonna show you a little bit of our new video too, in a sec. But let's get I was trying to have Cruz up here for that, but let's do ProQuo featuring Fly, a little Freedom Corner right here. Tell me if y'all can hear that.
A little bit. It's low.
It's low?
Yeah.
I can't hear it.
All right. I gotta make it better. I had a feeling that was low. Let's do that again.
How you feeling? How you doing though?
Now we gotta bring that back. Bring it over here. Get some of that volume. Boom. Boom. Let's try this now.
Freedom Corner. Yeah. Let's make it known, you know what I mean? How you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom Pro. Plans work, we immerse with the jury though. Yeah, how you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm, what you doing, quote? I'm on the corner free riding with my clique in them. Before Atlanta, Mississippi hit the map off of discipline. Disciples at the table thinking labels made it Timberlands. Recycled off the majors, quarantine, I'm in the crib again. Playing daddy, school teacher, and a hooligan. I'm on salary, not married, but I'm rudiment. The queen cheers, so it's cheers, bottles moving in. That's weekdays, long nights, videos all Peruvian. A big dream texturized on a podium. Reflect the vibes, hope you feel what I sow in them. We on books, former crooks, tall castles, no linoleum. There's no church, but I preach on this flow we in. The temple is my mental, so the soul is detrimental. When I hit the instrumental with the pen, don't use a pencil. You understand the code, so conversion is eventual. Know the version, I'm essential. How you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom quote. Plans work, we immerse with the jury though. Yeah, how you feeling, how you doing though?
Feeling good.
Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm, what you doing, bro?
You place me in the verses with these rappers this hot, and I will place them in these hearses in the back of a box. Got a catalog that stretches like a jack in a box. Underground, I am legend, the original plot. Stop provoking how I'm poking embers, stoking the flames. Freedom riding on some Stokely before he change up his name. Changing the game, my whole education was lame. Mega Evers, no one ever even mentioned his name. Martin either, even him, barely a quarter of a page. We learned nothing about that corner where that freedom was laid. A shame. Now many corners where there's MLKs, boulevards, grilling hard, still things ain't changed. Is we supposed to leave the hood or is we supposed to refrain? Trying to play the Eric Sposter era post King James. Spit flames, how we handle that heat. Gripping that rosary while getting our Romari on doing it how it's supposed to be.
How you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom, yo. Plans work, we immerse with the jury though. Yeah, how you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm, what you doing, yo?
Forever lives your way. Freedom Corner, free from the corner. About to get it poppin' like corn, it's a warmer. Had the ultimatum like my name, chasing bomber. Changed up my life cause it was jail at the corner. My life is like a movie, I ain't talking Time Warner. Spirit got me speaking different language like a foreigner. Yeah, cold summers and the winters getting warmer. So I'm really out of pocket like a young Kurt Warner. I warned ya, only judge a book by its chapters. Pencil that he pistol for them pistols leaving captive. That melanin is gold, so I'm knowing what they after. You only live twice, so I'm living for the afterlife. All Christ don't need him being subliminal. The way I'm killing beats, you would think they ought to be criminal. New era, but no cap, and I got that bag in the intervals. And it's blessings on blessings, gotta know that harvest is plentiful.
How you feeling, how you doing though? Instrumental hit the studio. Truly more than making music, so fan first, stand firm for that Freedom, yo. Plans
right
work,
there.
we immerse with the jury though.
Yo, bro, that Freedom Corner is stupid. Oh my God, bro. I'm in the car with my girl now, bro. When I get to the crib, I'm finna bump this on the studio monitor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit is fire, man.
That's fly, baby. That's Freedom Corner right there.
Freedom Corner,
brand.
baby.
The brand.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Shout out to LD. Shout out to Jay, man. Yo, Those who don't know about Legendary's production, they need to know, man. Legendary's an animal.
Freedom Quarter got some heat, man.
You and Legendary have been friends since like childhood, right, Fly?
Almost, man. I met Jay probably like 07.
Oh, okay, that's crazy.
Yeah, like 07. We were teenagers when we met.
Yo, I guarantee you promote anything that you're doing and you play stuff like that, you'll have no problem getting dancers to come and support your stuff, man.
So yeah, man. I know people were probably just curious about just the music, but yeah, I got an album that came out January 15th. Called I Am Fly.
Fly.
It's on every streaming platform. Forever Lives Yahweh. That's basically what the acronym FLY stands for.
If you have any problem getting some people for your video, whatever, you let me know. We'll keep in touch, baby. and I'll help you out as much as I can. I'll contact some heavy hitters to come down there and get busy on your stuff for you.
Yeah,
you know?
Man. Like I said, or vice versa, man. I'm not objective to opposed rather to traveling, man. I got my homie, my videographer who I work with, but we've been friends. Actually, the person I ever recorded my first song ever recording was my homie. He's now my videographer, and so he down, man. He's like, wherever you want to go, we going. And so a change of scenery would give a fresh perspective too for a video. So
yeah, definitely, man. No doubt. Hey Pete, you'll find this interesting. You know, just so to let you know that when Megatron gets back, we plan on forming another something different group. Not us, but a younger version.
Word.
And we're gonna start promoting them and teaching them and booking shows for them.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we could use a couple of those fire something different intros, man. You know, get some you know what I mean? I used to have this one when you were talking about Rock Cam earlier, one of you guys. It says you've been hit with something different, isn't it? That's what and I used to loop that.
Different, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I still remember.
But I want to get some original from you guys.
I'm telling
man,
you, I still remember something different rhymes, man. I got some of those still in the head, yo.
And we get it'd be nasty to have some dope
Once
intros.
Again, it's Tron on the mic, naked jaws are dropping, rhyming, miming, gliding, popping. Mary, mother of God, the brother's hype. The lingo will lose you. Routines are tight. Something different. We're giving to women. Oh, yeah, I got it, man.
He wrote that in like 2 seconds for us. He wrote lyrics. He wrote rhymes for each one of us.
Yeah, man.
You know professor, what I mean?
Man. Yeah, that was like probably 25 years ago.
You still have that book, Pete?
I do, man. I got a few. You know, one of them got lost, but I got like 3 of them still.
The first time I went to Pete's house, he had a book, and they were all alphabetically. All the rhymes were alphabetically.
Yeah.
Like he had R&B rhymes, he had battle rhymes, he had them all like in a huge book. It was like a Bible, man. It was crazy.
Lyrical Burgundy Bible. That's the name of it, man. It's a Lyrical Burgundy Bible, man. Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That's when you know you're serious about it.
Exactly, and that's what I miss. That's kind of the point I was kind of getting to. Like I missed that level of devotion and dedication where you loved it. You would do it for free, like just because it wasn't about the money. You did it because you loved it. Like you stand out on the corner.
Some of the best shows we've ever gotten, we did for free.
It's like
a passion. In other words, we got paid shows out of doing free shows.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to show people your talent if you want to get booked, man. That was the other thing I was going to say about when we were something different is that we didn't only just perform and choreograph. We had to go book our own shows. Right. You know what I mean? And it was tough going into these radio stations and all these labels and stuff and saying, yo, pay us this amount of money. And they're like, yeah, okay, why are we going to do that? You know what I mean? And this is where all the pictures and everything came in, the 8x10s, the bios, and then the pictures with all the artists we perform with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they were like, oh, you with these people? You know what I mean? So then they're like, oh, you guys are serious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're going to make your club hot kind of thing. And it's funny because
exactly.
That mentality switched up a lot because in the promotion tip nowadays, it's like who directly are you going to, like we want proof with your ticket, like who you're going to bring in. And that's kind of more the trend now as opposed to, no, we just going to make your place the place where all the tastemakers are going to be at. Like you want us there because it's going to make your spot fly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
So now they want to see how much you're going to bring in, how much you're going to draw, right?
Yeah.
All analytics now, man.
Right.
It's tough, man. Well, that's when you gotta have a big following, man. Now the thing is that that's what I was saying. Like, with dances, we have to take pictures with the artist to prove or have videos or copy. You guys being MCs, and you guys got to have copies of all your demos to show how dope you guys are.
I try to tell people the same thing, man. It's like what I do. I'm actually having the website redone right now. Like, I had one of them, dude. I had, like, anytime I did a college show that was I got 115 of them listed, right? So that's when someone goes to my site and they search. First of all, if you Google me, my site pops up. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of the first 3 things. There's like 50 things that say Professor Lyrical, but I'm monitoring that all the time, and I'm like, yo, like, what do I got to do to get my site up there? So my site would pop up there, and up until a half a year ago, it had every show that I thought was impressive enough to warrant listing in there, right? Because I'm going after college money, right? Quite honestly. So I'm like,
no doubt.
If I want that big bag, I got to show that other people have paid that big bag, and there's a reason that 100 people have paid that. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, oh, okay, it's safe for me to go to my boss and say, you want 5 Gs. I'm not going to look like a fool. You know what I mean? And,
right.
That's the name of the game, man. What Shallow's saying, it's that resume. You got to keep it organized. Let people know you've done it, or you can never get it. And if like you either need a picture, or you need sort of the credential, the testimonies. Testimonials important, man. That stuff's important.
Hey Pete, we might have to put another tour together.
I'm saying, yo, we about to do it, man. We're working right now, yo. We back at it, yo. I'm gonna run part of our video. Quo's hitting me up, and he's like, yo, run that. So we got a little a sort of a pre-edit of our video. If y'all want to see little Final Fire, I think I can get it up there for y'all before you get out of here. Sound like a plan?
Yeah, go ahead.
Run that, man.
Yeah, man. This is in honor of Quo. Rhonda, we gotta make sure we represent for Quo. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of that.
Vegas.
Woo!
What up, man? The mess.
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Final Fire.
What up, Vegas?
What up, Boston, Mass?
Yeah. What up, Amsterdam?
Wingland in the DMV.
Yeah. The sword ties, the Final Five. Immaculately crafted in these halls, hieroglyphs. Born and translated, the vocabulary's obvious. Throw your arms later when the beats is the catalyst. Mind the word labor, retrace back to Avalis. Got the old hater buying back in my establishment. Lit the torch, May 21st, 2020. Bagging up your purse, cause I hearse with a chariot. No dirt for my Harriet, it hurts so I tally it. Finite things off the cross when I carry it. Primo suits in the booth, then I marry it. Kilos croup for a keynote activist. Trolls and the fees, hide them, you test the accurate. You weak off the words, I take them to inhabitants. The front line with me, red dots on contaminants. Quotables over punchlines, call the ambulance. Atmosphere bright,
Expeditious.
off the ambulance.
Hands and wrists stay lit with the amethyst. Been dripping the ambiance from the sconces with the candles lit. I cancel riffs real quick like a hammer click. My mans and them come dumping a couple cans upon your canvases. Box cutters coming out, we're doing the candlestick. Been winning the competition since before the drink get habited. My fame is leverage, obtain all the extras. One expert still remains, all except for the main expletives. I spit flames when you drain your main beverage. Skill level obtained and train your brain will hemorrhage. Just my average is so far from your maximum. Subtract them, even my math skills can't even fathom them. Difference between us is steep as elite geniuses. Trying to teach them cavemen to read what my recent thesis says. All of my drip, you should feed it through intravenously. And watch these hip hoppers come back to life with no weaknesses.
What up, Vegas?
What up, Boston, Mass?
What up, Amsterdam?
Wingland in the DMV.
The sword ties, the Final Five. What up, Vegas?
What up, Boston, Mass?
What up, Amsterdam?
Wingland in the DMV.
Yo, you know we got P.S. Perkins in the house.
Why did this happen? Who created this wretched travesty passing itself off as life? How did it move from father to son, all sharing the same block on the block while doing time on the rock? Insouciantly regarding the world around him, long ago relinquishing his throne of royalty. Subjects scattered through global channels of shackled disbursement, swept away by kingly decrees of worthless worth, bearing generations of a golden birth, no longer able to retain, trying to maintain, struggling to regain knowledge, internalized, necessitating greatness. King.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was dope.
Hey, whoever mixed it, chopped that, the beat like that at the end, that was so dope, bro.
Yeah, man. Just shout out to everybody involved in that, man. That was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun, man.
Final fire. Hey, I'm so
dope,
excited
Pete.
about the project, man.
Yeah, man. It's coming. It's coming together, man. It's coming together.
I'm so excited about the project, man. I think I'm on another track on y'all album too.
I think you are, man. I know you are. In fact, when you got one artist on 2 of our tracks, and there's only we only got 3 or 4 people featuring on that whole album. P.S. Perkins right there. Shout out to her. She's been on the show with the poetry. Got my man Fly. I mean, we keep it. We got my man D Rightway. All part of IB Hood. If you don't know about IB Hood, it's basically just part of Jay's vision, man. Just bringing this international kind of flavor to it. It's instant brotherhood is what IB Hood stands for. Everybody who's involved, we're trying to make them, front and center. At least show that family vibe, which is really Jay's vision behind everything, man. And so obviously y'all a big part of that. Freedom Corner, 2 joints on there. And the first single, Bye Bye, is actually produced by Legendary, so that's another Freedom Corner joint. And the remix is crazy too. So yeah,
bro. I think I just did a feature with DA and Mitchell.
Oh, word.
Called Money Train. Yeah, so that's
that's
coming soon.
That's right. Yeah, I heard about that. So the fam is large, man. It's out there. There's a lot of international producers on that. Shout out to Drix. Shout out to Larcy. Larcy's a bad man as well.
Fee still rhyming too?
We just did a track the other day, man. When I was up there in Boston, Fee and I recorded the joint. We got some pictures from the studio over a ski beat that we're doing. So that's coming out too. Yeah, man. Fee's doing his thing. He plays with Ruby. They do stuff together. They do her solo stuff. He's doing some of his solo stuff, the group stuff. They got all kinds of stuff popping off. So shout out to Fee.
That's dope.
Yeah, man. So we excited, man. We're gonna have to.
I want to give a couple shout outs to people too.
Oh yeah,
man.
do so.
I want to give it first my partner Megatron.
Yes,
give
sir.
a shout out to him, man, from day one. I want to give a shout out to the Floor Lords, my fam. I want to give a shout out the Something Different crew. I want to give a shout out to my man Domino and Float. Rest in peace.
Ooh.
I miss you guys. Also, I want to give a shout out to Killer DJ. All the people from Cambridge Port and the bridge, people know what time it is with that. And some people, all over Cambridge, and all the B-boys and poppers representing around worldwide, doing your thing. Keep it up. Keep doing your thing. And it's going to be dope. You're going to see him B-boy in the Olympics soon. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. That is crazy. I remember when I first heard that, I was like, what? But it makes sense, man.
You watch all those gymnasts get upset when they start seeing what you can really do with all that stuff.
Right.
You know?
Might not have MC battles in there, but we sure gonna represent on the B-boys and
right. They gotta make way, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. They gotta make so who's really creating stuff.
Absolutely. It's just a matter of time before all the 4 elements are brought together and they're really actually given their proper venue, as like a true Olympics for hip hop, you know what I'm saying? And just be able to I mean, as a one element person, right? It's like, I mean, my man Donnie made that graffiti behind me, right? And my man Def Rock, and it's crazy because that dude's one of the few people I know who's like a master of 3 disciplines. He's a master of legitimate MC, DJ, graffiti master. And I think about myself, somebody does one thing. I scratch a little bit, I do a little, music production, that kind of stuff. But it's really one element. I'm an MC. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People that I love watching people who've mastered their discipline, man. I don't care what.
But you appreciate all the culture. That's what's good about you.
That's it, man.
You know what I mean?
I could watch.
What I was gonna say to you earlier, Fly, is that we used to make show tapes off pause tapes, cassette tapes,
Yeah,
We used to make
that's
them,
crazy.
and I used to make. I was good with the pause, man. I could pause.
Fire pauses.
I can make it. I can make it seem like because we didn't have a lot of money back then. You know what I mean, to go in the studio. But then when our name started getting out there, we hooked up with Andy at on Newberry Street and then he started doing our stuff professional, and then we started really taking it to another level when we knew we could do it. You know what I mean?
But at
It's
least
just
it's not like
look,
it used to be, man. It's actually I mean, you can make music almost for free now. It's nothing like it used to be.
Right.
Where it cost a fortune to record a track, man. You had to have money.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
Especially
it's like just the beats and stuff like that back then was unheard of. You know what I mean? Like you had to like really put up some money to do that, And but what happened was we started promoting his studio, so he started making our show tapes for free. You know what I mean? But what we would do is we would like make them on a pause tape, and then we would go to him and then go in there and do it professionally. You know what I mean? And which was dope. And then we started doing all like big concerts and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember recording speaking of Newberry Street, recording at Newberry Sound for the first time, right? Back.
Yeah, that's
right.
Andy was one of the tech guys.
Was it Andy Devinger?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he did our record, and I think so. I'm not sure. I might have the wrong guy. Wait, Andy Devinger, Mission Control. I'm not sure if I get that wrong. But anyways, going there, right? It was insane, the hourly rate there. I mean, even then, the hourly rate that it was then was insane compared to even now. I mean, it was like $100 an hour or something to record there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
crazy.
saying? And it was like, what? And then we recorded. We did a single. We did like kind of a commercial single in Worcester at Lick Studios. I still get the check. I mean, we paid like $1,200 to record that thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
That
bro.
was like in '94 or something, like 93 too or something like that. It's like, what? Do you know
1,200 went a long way in other areas in the 90s, man.
Jog went a long way here. Went a long way.
I paid a lot of bills.
$1,200, man. You kidding me? It's $1,200
for one song.
$100 went a long way. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like, yeah, we could pull up right now the economy of scale right there and see what that was, but it was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, yeah, it's crazy how much that came down.
I think it's dope though, man. If you come out and you do like a whole college tour or something, that would be dope, man. Get like you, Fly, and a whole bunch of couple other dudes to, put on a nice show,
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Like a nice hour show or whatever.
Right. No, we're trying to do all that. It's always been tricky for me with tours. Like, it's much more easy for me to do like a string of shows, you know what I'm saying, and then just like. Because with my schedule,
that's how it starts at
that's
first,
how it starts. Yeah. It's like I only got so much time I can do them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got the summer real hard. You know what I'm saying? Got winter break. It's kind of cool and do all these other times. But yeah.
Then you guys could have like a panel or whatever. You know what I mean? And
yeah. I like Friday to Monday tours. You know what I'm saying? Fridays. I gotta pack it in. I'll go do 3 places in a row. Bang, bang, bang. It'll be like Connecticut, Rhode Island, New York. Boom. I'll go to
Sure, when we used to be at Charlie Horse, you remember?
Yeah.
2 15, 20-minute shows a night.
I know how it is, man. I know how it is.
Yeah, man.
I'm down for a Friday through Monday tour, bro.
Dog, I made a lot of my career off Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So yeah, man, I really just started taking my music seriously like in the last 12 months. So yeah, man, a lot of that's still new to me. And I hadn't really had that experience, in totality. So I'm looking forward to that. Like in that regard, I've been writing all my life, right? But in that regard, as far as to actually like listen to y'all talk about the shows and the performance and all
that's
that.
That's the best spot, man.
I can't wait. I know it. I can't wait.
Yeah, let me tell you something. There ain't nothing like getting in like a show like the Kiss concert when you have 50,000 people screaming for you.
I can't wait.
It's like it's the best feeling in the world when you do one move and you hear that echo of the roar, like back.
It's funny.
Back.
Everybody's different with that. It's like some people get overwhelmed with that. Some people like,
some people get afraid of it. The more people, look, the more people out in the audience, the bigger ham I am. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah. I actually, for me, the sweet spot for me, really, honestly, is like I like slightly smaller because I like hearing and seeing the people individually. Like I like the reactions. I like interacting. So for me, it's like 300 people for me is almost ideal. You know, it's like, and don't get me wrong, I've played in front of, you know, massive crowds and stuff, and it is amazing, you know, when people are doing that. But I'm more like, I want you to hear what I'm saying kind of thing, and I want to know what you felt about it and talk to the people after and, like, you know, build. So it's like, it's funny how you talk to people about that. Some people be like, yo, I can't.
Well, we used to after our shows, we always used to go in the audiences anyways to mingle with everybody because, you know, we want to mingle with our crowd. You know what I mean? That's how you build connections too, you know?
Sure.
Because you never know who's in the audience, man.
That's right. Yeah,
you know, so.
Straight up.
I can't wait, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, man. Well, we're going to have to wrap this up. We're going way over, man, but it's been great having Shallow up here, man. Fly.
I'm sorry, Pete.
No, it's all good, man. It's all good. I think Jay Cruz was pushing us to play that last one there, man. He had to see some of the heat. He was giving me the fire symbol, so pun intended.
That's what's up, man. Yo, all that was dope, man. Y'all, good luck with all of that with you guys, man. And like I said, hey, Fly, you can get my number off Pete or whatever. Any help you need, man, you let me know, man. That's what we do.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be on your line, brother. I'm gonna be on your line.
Yeah, no doubt. And you can hit me up on Facebook too, man. You know, and I'm on Instagram too. It's Shallow617.
Shallow617. I'm about to send you a follow right now.
Definitely.
Yeah. Word.
You know, and Pete, it's always a pleasure, bro.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
You know, our history goes so far back, man. It's like, you know, memories never be forgotten, you know?
Absolutely, my bro. Couple years, man. Couple years, anyways.
Yeah, and good luck with your album, man. You know, I'm gonna keep blowing that up anyway.
Appreciate it, yeah, man. You on it, man. You made it. You made it.
Yeah, I can't. When T get back, you already know. He's already hyped up about it too. He told me to tell you, said what's up, and
absolutely. He said what's up too, man. Yeah, I did like 3 shout outs on there. It was like pretty much something different was the main one. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Yeah. So, man. Dope, man. Appreciate you coming through.
All right, fellas, y'all.
Yeah, I had a good time, man. Yeah, you too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's always an educational process for all of us, and appreciate anytime we can hear, you know, right out the mouth. You know what I'm saying? Legend, like I said before, it's an easy topic to throw around, but trying to bring people up here that really know what they're talking about on their particular thing and really give it to everybody who necessarily wasn't there, man. And you know, the educator in me can't.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I had a good time, man. Thank you for having me.
Likewise, homie. All right, y'all.
All right, man.
All right, let you go. Peace, y'all. Peace, Fly. And we are a wrap, y'all. Check out Fly. You definitely want to check out that I Am Fly. Look for my man David Shallow. You find him, like he said, on all the social media out there. 617, yes. So we are wrapped it up. I want to shout out everybody in the Abbey Hood crew. Mentioned shout out happy birthday to Quo, doing it real big. Glad the fam's back and everything. So everything's back over there. We put in a lot of work this week. It's been a crazy week for us. So we'll keep you informed throughout the week. We're going to do a couple lives through our Instagram page this week. So check out my Instagram page. It's Professor Lyrical. Me and Quo, we're going to go live a few times over there. And we might even pop up on the Facebook as well, too. So check out Bye if you haven't on Spotify. Remember, tinyurl.com. That's your friend. tinyurl.com/bye Spotify. Take you right to it if you don't want to search it. And that's a wrap. All right, y'all. Peace. We out of here. ProQuo. And I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do this time? I'm going to end with the intro. That's what I want to do. Peace.